Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmie.
I'm so excited.
My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. As always, if you're a new listener, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us.
Choo-choo, goddammit.
It's going to be a wild time, so buckle up. If you're, been with us a while, you know what we're going to do. We're going to have a good time today. Hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. Our crazy train went that way. My God, man. Insane. The whole thing.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Go back and check out last week's if you don't know what we mean, but check it out. It was a crazy shit show, and it was wild. Not shit show on our end. No. Shit show on his end. Yeah, that was probably
the president of the world.
I'm the president of the world. He thought he was the president of the world, and the demons were in the air conditioning.
You bet.
In fucking sane. Check him out and check out his crazy mother, who's just as crazy as him. So it was a great time had by all.
Suing universities.
It's suing universities. Check it out. It's too much to tell you now, but thank you guys for your iTunes reviews this week, especially.
Wow.
Guys, we cannot thank you enough. If you like the show and you want to help us out and help us get bigger and become more successful with this thing, that is how you can do it. Please, if you appreciate what we do.
You've already done so much for us in terms of helping us. We are in a ridiculous studio right now.
Yes, thank you.
This place trusts us,
and
it's because of you guys. You don't give a shit.
The sound quality is good because of you guys.
Because of you. That's what I'm trying to say.
But if you want to help us out, Business NY's, the iTunes reviews are the biggest thing. Give us 5 stars. Yeah. Say you're following instructions, following directions, whatever you want to do. Yeah. If you want to help us out a little further, you can do patreon.com/crimeandsports if you want to throw us a few extra bucks, but whatever, that's fine.
Help me get James some health insurance.
Let's do that.
That'd be important.
My goodness, Jimmie, do we have a crazy episode this week? We have a pile of nuts.
I can't wait.
Here. This is a
one.
fun what was that?
Mixed ones.
It's insane. This is a fun one. We're going to get into it right now because there's so much to get into. It's wild, and we have a ton of shout outs at the end we're going to do also.
Laundry list. Holy shit.
Time for that. But let's get right into our fellow this week. His name, Jimmie, is amazing. If you are a new listener and you don't know, there's an excessive amount of juniors.
It's crazy.
Covered. People with the, so-and-so junior.
Right.
It's literally, I think, 15 out of our 55, now 56, 55 previous have been juniors, which is a really excessive amount. So we always note, we can't believe how many of these people are juniors, and they all name their kids junior. Right. That's insane, right? Well, our fellow today is Otis Nixon. He's an ex-baseball player, but his full name, I could not make this up if I tried, Jimmie. Oh, my God. Otis Junior Nixon Jr.
What the fuck?
Double junior.
Are you shitting me?
It's a double junior.
You're kidding.
This is...
How?
I don't even know what to say to that. The ultimate crime and sports athlete.
He was named Junior twice. Get the fuck out of here.
Once was not enough.
Did you look it up in the legal documents?
I looked it up on everything.
Get out of here.
When I first heard that, I said, no. I read it and I went, there's no fucking way his name is Otis Junior Nixon Jr. That's impossible. That's his name. His name, by the state, is recognized as Otis Junior Nixon Jr.
Whoever coined the term "what in the actual fuck" blew it. Completely blew it.
I don't even know what to
say about that. If they didn't know about the man named Junior twice. If you saw a breakfast egg sandwich with some chicken on it and were shocked and your mind was blown by the chicken genocide, and you said "what in the actual fuck," you blew it because this is ridiculous.
This is way crazier.
This is ridiculous.
This is. We could just end the show now. Yeah. We don't even have to tell you what he did.
He's fucked up.
You know he was a menace. Just, dude, don't even worry about it. He was whacked.
Somebody named their son and forgot how to name him Junior first, and they named the dad Otis Jr. Nixon. And then he was dumb enough.
Yeah. He went, I'm going to name him after me, Otis Jr. Nixon Jr. This is what we're dealing with here. And he doesn't think this is odd at all. He's fine with it.
What a fucking idiot.
Otis Nixon Jr. Or Otis Jr. Nixon Jr. I'm sorry we're spending so much time on this.
The way to say it is so it fucks you up.
It's a mess. I can't believe this. This was the thing I've looked up most of anything.
Right.
I fact checked like crazy. I'm like, no way his name is Otis. They have it mixed up. It's got to be wrong.
His grandfather thought that's how you name your son Junior.
Middle name. Yeah. So I don't want to give him my name. I'll call him Junior, and that way we'll just call him Junior. This one, he gets the brunt of it. Old Otis Nixon. Otis Nixon, he starts his cursed life on January 9th, 1959.
No fucking chance.
No chance with a double junior. Come on. You can't outlast that.
Unbelievable.
That's worse than J.R. Ryder naming his kids the third and the fourth after him. An episode
it
there.
really is worse.
J.R. Ryder, an athlete we had a few back, named his first son J.R. Ryder the second, or the third, and then because he was the second, and then named his other son J.R. Ryder the fourth. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
That's not how names work. But this is. I mean, this is worse. I think this is dumber.
Legally, you can because somebody
you can name him anything.
Yeah, somebody went out there and named a kid Debrickashaw.
I'll say you can name a kid anything you want. You name a kid Hercules if you want.
It's happened.
Fine.
I'm positive of it.
No problem. But you Junior, give me a break. Can't do that.
Stupid.
Never have a chance, man.
And J.R. Ryder Jr. the fourth is not a fucking name.
That's
Sorry.
Stupid. So this particular junior, Otis Nixon Jr., was born in Evergreen, North Carolina.
Okay.
He's a small town boy. Otis Nixon. He's a very small town guy.
Down home.
Yeah. He goes to West Columbus High School in Evergreen, North Carolina, small community. He's a wiry guy, Otis Nixon. He's 6'2", and he's listed at 190, but I would be shocked if he was 190.
Was
he looks
he a
like
shortstop?
He's about 160. Not in the big leagues. When he first came up, he was in the minors. He was a shortstop, but he moved to center field and left field for his career. He's an outfielder, speedster. He is. You'll recognize him by he's possibly the ugliest man to ever play professional sports.
Worse than Sam Cassell.
Oh, God, Jesus. He looks like if you took Sam Cassell and stuck like a fireplace thing in him and sucked all the air out of him. He'd be Otis Nixon. Like Sam Cassell with like an 8-year crack habit would be Otis
my
Nixon.
God, that's terrible.
He looks like he's about 30 years older than he is, always. His rookie card his rookie baseball card, he looks like he's 48 years old in his rookie card. He's like 23. It's the silliest thing ever.
That is fantastic.
He's a terrible looking man. He goes to, it's remarkable. Like I normally don't just, say, this guy's ugly. This guy is incredibly ugly. It's shocking. It's shocking. You can't believe how ugly he is.
I love how his name and his appearance already ruins him.
He's a disaster. He went to college to play baseball. He went to Lewisburg College, which is a small college in North Carolina. You just looked him up, didn't you?
My God.
Look on your face.
Oh, my God.
He's not a handsome man.
That is terrible.
Yeah, everybody should be looking that up.
He looks
He's not
toothless.
a handsome man. He is scary looking. Like I said,
Holy shit. His rookie card, he does look 55
He
years
does.
old.
The one where he's on the Indians? Yeah, it's insane. So,
what the fuck?
He plays baseball in college at Lewisburg. It's a small college in North Carolina. He is the most successful baseball alum of the school, too, in the end. He turns out to be. They also produced a guy who has the best name in the history of baseball, Razor Shines.
Shit, yeah.
That was his name, Razor Shines.
That's amazing.
That's a badass name, dude. That's a cool fucking name.
I hope he got into crime, too. I want to cover that guy.
Oh, I looked him up. I wanted it so bad. I'm like, please tell me Razor Shines killed a guy. Please tell me he did. Razor Shines played from 83 to 87. He also went to that college. But anyway, 1978, while he's in college, he plays for the U.S. in the Pan American baseball tournament there, Pan American baseball team. So he's a top-notch prospect. Very good. June 6th, 1978, the 1978 baseball draft, he's drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. Now, he's drafted in the 21st round. And in baseball, if you don't like where you're drafted, it's not like football. In football, you get drafted, you're stuck with that team. They own your rights, and you're screwed, basically. You have to bully them into trading you if you don't want them.
Right.
If you get drafted in baseball, you can just go, nah, don't want it. And that's it. You just, no, don't want them. And then you're eligible for the next draft.
Wow.
It's one of those things. Like he went back to school and said, no thanks, don't want to go to Cincinnati. This happens all the time. Guys that are never going to play in the majors and never even going to play baseball get drafted into baseball all the time.
Really?
Because they have so many rounds, they can just throw it at a guy who they don't know. They can take chances. Because they had 60, they used to have like 80 rounds. So it was like, whatever, who cares?
Well, John Elway was drafted too, wasn't he?
Multiple times, many times. We'll get into that too. And a couple other football players as well. January 9th, 1979, so 6 months later, he is drafted in the January secondary baseball draft by the California Angels, this time with the 4th pick in the first round.
Holy shit.
That's high. So
we want that ugly man.
Some signing bonus. That's decent. He doesn't sign.
What?
He does not sign. Holds out more. I don't know why he doesn't sign, but he
He's
decides.
going to L.A.? Well, he can't go to L.A. with that face.
No, there isn't. It's just going to be bad
He's going
for
to
him.
spend all his signing bonus on Botox and shit.
Totally. Absolutely. So finally, on June 5th, 1979, it's the secondary June draft. He's drafted by the Yankees with the 3rd pick overall, drafted by the New York Yankees, and he signs with the Yankees. A couple days later, on June 9th, he signs with the Yankees. Later selections in the 79 draft, too. This is one that had like some great players drafted late. Brett Butler, longtime San Francisco Giant. Gary Gaetti, the longtime Twin who won World Series with them, was the third baseman with a nice mullet on him. Von Hayes of the Phillies in the 80s. If you don't know who Von Hayes is, if you ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia in the Christmas special, when they're looking for the robot, and Matt goes in and goes, you telling me Von Hayes walks in here, you don't have a robot for him. Famous Phillies player. That's how you might know him from. And also drafted that year, football player-wise, John Elway, drafted in 79. Jay Schrader, the ex-Redskin Raider quarterback. He looked like a goofy sitcom dad when he was 22. He's like bald and blonde. He's terrible looking. And Dan Marino was drafted.
No kidding.
Yeah, a Hall of Fame NFL quarterback drafted in the
Did the Yankees draft Elway?
I'm not sure in 79 if that was the time, if that's when they drafted him. I think they drafted him later. I think they drafted him after his senior year of Stanford when they actually could have got him. But I'm sure he got drafted every year probably. That's what happens. And teams would draft guys that didn't even play the sport.
That's crazy.
It's weird, but he played. But he ends up playing in the minors. He plays in for the Yankees minor league system here, 79 through 82. He plays in Paintsville, Greensboro, Nashville. So some, this is not the glamorous major league. This is on a bus in the minors, staying in motels.
Not just any bus. It's one of those old ass
shit bus.
It's like one from a league of their own.
I was going to say it's the one in the league of their own that they need Tom Hanks to drive when the guy walks away and he's too drunk to do it. He becomes a huge base stealer. Big time.
That's what I remember him for. He was fast.
In 1982, and combined in all the teams he was on in 82, because they move him around from A to high A, single A, he steals 107 bases in 82, which is obscene. Yeah. That's ridiculous, by the way, if you're not a baseball fan. That's way too many stolen bases. It's a lot. He has 94 stolen bases in 1983. Wow. That's in AAA for Columbus, so he's getting ready to move up. He's moved to the outfield in 82 because he's a terrible shortstop. He, in 127 games in 1981 and at shortstop, he made 57 errors.
What the
50? So that's, you can't even fathom that. If a guy in the majors has 20, they're like, Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. 57 in 127 games. So that is terrible.
He's making an error every 2 games. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's wild. Yeah, he's a terrible shortstop. Really good outfielder. Yeah. He's super fast and he gets to a lot. He has great range.
Are sailing through the gap.
Oh, absolutely on him. Yeah, well, he's going right through his legs.
Yeah.
Now, September 9th, 1983, he makes his major league debut for the New York Yankees at age 24. Had to be feeling good. Even as ugly as he is, he still had to feel good about himself.
Age 24 with a 55-year-old face.
He's like, look, I'm hideous. I have a Jerry curl. I look like I'm 60, but I'm playing for the Yankees, so I have a chance.
I'm a straight-up monster, and I'm in New York.
I have a chance. In his rookie year, he only plays in 13 games for the Yankees because they bring him up in September. They just bring up kids when the roster expands, and they let you just, let's see what this kid's got against major league pitching. Yeah. Let's see how he looks in the uniform. Oh, terrible. Look at him. Jesus, he's ugly. Send him back down. So,
pull the hat down lower. It doesn't go any lower. Keep trying. I don't care.
Shit.
You look like Hatchet Face from Crybaby.
Get him a ski mask. A Yankee with a logo. A Yankee logo right on the nose.
Some pinstripes on a ski mask.
Man. He only played, like I said, he plays in 13 games for the Yankees that year, has 2 hits and 14 at-bats. He has 2 steals, though. It seems like he's a pinch runner, probably, because he only has 14 at-bats. So that seems like they bring him in to pinch run.
Handy guy in the 8th when they need a run.
Exactly. He's super fast. There's no doubting that. February 5th, 1984, he's traded to the Cleveland Indians.
All right.
For a bunch of nobodies that never did anything and never made it to the majors. Plays in 49 games for Cleveland in 84, so he's starting to get himself into
He has
the
a Cleveland
mix.
face.
He's got a face. Kids, you got a face for Cleveland. Sorry, Cleveland.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Sorry. There's a reason why everyone runs screaming from there. Maybe that's what it is. Otis Nixon's face. They were like, and it started in 87. Everyone just ran away, or 84.
His face is terrible.
It's awful. 1985, starts to work himself into the lineup for the Indians.
Yeah.
Scores a high. He's in 104 games. Hits 235, but he steals 20 bases. He's caught stealing 11 times, which is terrible, which he's just not experienced enough yet to know how to do it. He has 3 home runs that year, which is his career high.
3
home runs is his career high. That is
I feel like the ball
monstrous.
was just running away from his face.
He did. That's what it was, man. Just he's he won't have another home run for like 4 more years now.
Wow.
He's no power whatsoever.
Coming up with a drought.
Absolutely. 1986, he plays in 105 games for Cleveland. Now he's in the lineup. He's a regular. He hits 263. He has 8 RBI, 23 steals. Only caught stealing 6 this time. So he's getting experience. Yeah. He made $97,500 in 1986.
All right.
Which isn't bad for a young kid like that. Yeah. But still for major leagues nowadays, that's hilarious. That's funny.
That's hilarious.
$97,000. Guys would be like, I wouldn't show up for April for $97,000. Never mind for the whole season.
I won't show up for spring training for that.
No. Now his brother Donnell is also a baseball player. Donnell Nixon. He has a better name. It's not Junior.
Right.
He ends up playing in the majors from 1987 to 1990.
Wow.
He plays for Seattle, San Francisco, and Baltimore. A decent base stealer. In his rookie year, he had 21 steals.
Wow.
So he had some potential, but he ends up flaming out. But still, that family produced 2 professional baseball players, which is not too shabby.
Pretty impressive.
And Donnell looked nothing like him.
Really?
Donnell was a normal-looking human. Like, he had to look at Donnell and go, you motherfucker. Yeah. Like, if Otis Nixon didn't get the baseball talent out of the 2, he would have killed his brother, without a doubt. Like, if I'm out of the league in 3 years and I look like this, I'm killing everybody. I can't do this shit.
He looks like he caught on fire in a game and Donnell stomped his face with his cleats. That's what he looks like.
Maybe that's what happened.
Terrible.
And then he did cocaine for 10 years after that, too.
He looks legit terrible. No. I have never seen a man that looks so horrible
his
20s.
No. Now, in 87, he only plays in 19 games for the Indians. His brother actually played more in 87 than he did in the majors. He hits .059 in 17 at-bats, so he doesn't get much. He had 1 hit and 2 steals, and there's a reason why he doesn't come up more. Okay. Because then they would, they'd send kids up and down to the minors, and he was in the minors and never got really back up that much because while in Buffalo, the minor league team, Buffalo, he is arrested for possession of cocaine. And this is a theme, a common theme. He likes his cocaine.
He's got $97,000 in his pocket. Yeah. He can afford some coke.
I've never seen a man look like they like cocaine as much as this guy actually does, and he fits all categories. It's amazing.
That's amazing.
It's a perfect drug for him. It's perfect. Like, you already look like you've been doing it for 15 years. Sure, fire it up.
What a face.
He will, because of this, he's going to have to undergo, now the league is on top of him with a microscope, he's going to have to undergo frequent drug testing, like multiple times a week drug testing, and he's also has to get counseling as part of the MLB program. They have a whole thing they started in the mid-'80s when they had the huge Pittsburgh cocaine deal there. I believe we did an episode where that was involved back in the day, so listen to that. I don't remember which one it was, but listen to all of them and you'll find out.
You'll find it.
They busted a bunch of people in Pittsburgh for cocaine, and the league really buckled down and clamped down on it after that. He ends up pleading guilty to a reduced charge on this, because it's his first offense, and he serves 30 days in a drug rehab program. That's it. That's all he gets for the possession of cocaine.
Wow.
Because he's a young guy. He's got a job. He's not like he's a bum.
But you look at his face and you go, this isn't your first offense. No.
Come on. Come on.
You've done this a while and you just haven't gotten caught.
Yeah, let's be realistic here. Now, October 15th, 1987, is bad timing because that's when his contract's up at the end of 87. No. So he's a free agent at the end of 87. Cleveland doesn't re-sign him because they're like, that kid who hit .059 and got busted for coke? Yeah, I don't think we need him, really. Yeah, the ugly one. Yeah, no, he's hideous. He scares my daughter. No, he scares my children, man.
Scares my dog.
God. So March 5th, 1988, he signs as a free agent with the Montreal Expos. So he's going up to Montreal to not understand French at all for a while up there.
Good luck scoring coke up there.
Yeah, but he's great. Montreal was a good team in the late 80s. I know they're defunct now, and they're the Washington Nationals now, but they were that late 80s Montreal. They were a force to be reckoned with. Okay. And as we'll find out, another team that he gets sent to wasn't. In 1988, he hits 244 over 90 games, has 46 steals.
Wow,
so
that's
he's
not
starting
bad.
to be a major leaguer now. That's solid.
Those are MLB stats.
Those are MLB stats. 1990 with Montreal, he hits 251 with 50 steals.
Wow,
and a home
They're
run.
ticking up. How about that? There it is.
There it is. 50 steals, though. That's a lot. And in the 90s, the game changed from the mid 80s when Vince Coleman and those guys were stealing 100 bases. That 50 is a lot in 1990, and 50 is a lot now. Guys lead the league with 60 now, commonly. April 1st, 1991, the 91 season, April 1st, like right before opening day, April Fool's Day, he is traded to Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves, April Fools, for a guy named Jimmie Kremers, who only played in one season, and that was this season when he was traded to the Braves. He played one season and hit 110.
Yeesh.
And that was it. And they went back to the minors, never to be heard from again. So bad trade for Montreal because Otis Nixon becomes kind of a star. And Otis is pissed about going to the Braves.
Really?
The Braves in 1990 were terrible. They were awful. And Montreal was good. And he's like, what, did you just trade me to a shit team? The fuck? Now, granted, nowadays we're thinking like Atlanta ruled the 90s. They
They're
won
about
every
to
year.
get John Smoltz. Calm down.
They're about to become a dynasty. They're about to sign Greg Maddux away from the Cubs. They're about to do a lot of things. They're about to become a semi-dynasty. And they only won World Series, but whatever. We'll give them.
Listen,
they won the division every goddamn year.
Yeah.
Every year, and Montreal became defunct. So in the end, good thing for him. But at the time, he's super pissed. He's so mad that when they play Montreal on June 16th, 1991.
He's going to send a message.
He sends a message. Yeah, that's a game in Montreal versus the Expos. He records a record-setting 6 stolen bases that day.
Wow.
Just runs to shit. And he said he just came from there. He knew all the pitching. Yeah. He knew how it worked. And so he was just slapping base hits and
how about
walks
that?
And,
how about that
steals.
of the team to go be so pompous that they're just like, we're just going to run the same pitch count, same everything.
Well, he just
their team has a player of yours.
Yeah, they didn't care. They didn't think much of him apparently either. Yeah. He wanted revenge on the Expos for trading him. Now, also, this deal at the time, this was a record setter. No one had ever stolen 6 bases in a game before.
Wow.
Since then, it's been done twice, once by Eric Young and once by Carl Crawford a few years ago of the Tampa Bay Rays.
That's it?
That's it. It's been done 3 times in the history of baseball.
Wow.
And even in the time when people were stealing hundreds of bases, back in the day, whether it was the 60s with Maury Wills or the 80s with the Vince Colemans and those guys, Tim Raines and those kind of guys, nobody stole 6 in a game. That's a shitload.
Ricky Henderson never did that.
Never stole 6 in a game.
That's unbelievable.
Ever. No, you would think they'd just throw over every pitch after 5, and forget it. But still,
this ratchet face fuck does it to you.
Yeah, it might be because he was under the radar or something. I don't know.
Or he was on coke.
Or also, too, seeing the pitchers that much, he might have known their move to the bag, and that's helpful if you know a guy's move. Now, here you have an in their own words.
Awesome.
Our first in their own words on steals as a revenge to the team. He says, in their own words, quote, "The Braves were the worst team in baseball. I wasn't comfortable with that trade, so I had some animosity toward the Expos when they did that on April Fool's Day. So I was like, I'm going to show you guys a few things here." Mm-hmm. So he said, he does.
I got my own tricks.
Yeah, I'll steal everything on you sons of bitches. Look at me. I'm hideous. I'm a goblin. All I can do is steal.
I wonder when they traded him, if they did some shitty thing because it was April Fool's Day. How you doing? You enjoying being an Expo?
That was a thing too. He keeps saying, and in these interviews, he keeps talking about April Fool's Day. I really feel like when they told him, he didn't believe them. Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, right." And they're like, "No, dude, seriously, here's your plane ticket." And he was like, "That's an expensive prank you just pulled out. That's a printed out plane ticket." What, you got one of their uniforms still? The fuck should you do that? Oh, shit, I am going to Montreal. I am going to Atlanta. God damn it.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, he plays for Atlanta in 91, and anybody who knows anything about baseball knows that was the start of Atlanta dominating the National League East.
You betcha.
They went to the World Series that year, and they were a hot team all through the season. Mm-hmm. That was their big first run. Now, in July 91, during the middle of this, and Otis is a main cog in this, too. I mean, he's fitting right in. He tests positive for cocaine in July on a major league test. And he's constantly being tested, like we said, and we'll find out exactly what happened because he tells us. Yeah. He contests the results of this test. So he says, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
He says it must be a false positive.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, scientific testing was a little different
Yeah.
back then. And basically, they made a big thing like, look, he's been tested hundreds of times, 2-3 times a week since 87. He's never had a bad test.
Yeah.
And now he has a bad test, and he's claiming it's not bad. And they basically, so they tested him again a couple times, and he was clean. So the league gave him the benefit of the doubt,
Wow.
actually. And the league said, you know what? Fine. We will not suspend you, which is pretty,
That's pretty fucking nice.
that's pretty decent of him, honestly. They've said it must have been a false positive.
Yeah.
Because false positives do happen.
Yeah, of course
that
they do.
happens.
Yeah.
And they were like, probably, all right, fine. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So you figure at that point, he's like, whew, dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
I better get my shit together
Yeah.
and stay on the straight and narrow. So September, while the Braves are very hot in September on a pennant run, September 17th, 1991, Otis fails another cocaine drug
damn
test.
it, Otis.
Another one. You fucking idiot. Now
How could you?
You can't say that's bad.
No.
They tested this one multiple times right away because the last time, too, they made sure and they went,
Yeah.
you tested positive, asshole. So now he looks like an even bigger jerk for saying he wasn't doing it before. It's the worst. So he's suspended.
And anybody that stood up for him, too, in that. Because
absolutely.
he had teammates and management. And
Oh,
people
the management loved him.
People were speaking so highly of his character, and he fucked them.
Silver-haired, middle-aged white men lined up out of the back of the building for this guy.
Everywhere.
I'm telling agents, managers. The GM will hear how disappointed he was. Not disappointed in his behavior, disappointed that he got caught, basically.
Right. Glavin and Smoltz managers are in there, too. Everybody's
Bobby
coming to
Cox
his defense.
is pissed off. Leo Mazzoni's rocking back and forth. So,
oh, Jesus.
He's suspended for 60 days for this, which is a big deal considering
steep.
that's the rest of the season, and that's their playoff run. He misses the World Series.
Wow.
The Braves make it all the way to the World Series that year against the Minnesota Twins in an epically tight, as tight of a series as you can get. It goes extra innings in Game 7 with Jack Morris pitching like 11 innings of a complete game shutout.
And he missed
I think it's a 1-0 game. That was Game 7 was a 1-0 game. I believe, I'm sorry, a 2-1 game or something like that. Something where a little stolen base here, a little bunt slap over the thing could have been the difference in winning the World Series. And this guy blows it with his stupid cocaine habit. He's like, I'm this ugly, I have to. His agent, Joe Schroba, says that he will enter a rehab program in Richmond, Virginia at this point. He tried to appeal this also, and he's appealing the sentence and everything. He will not take his consequences, this guy. That's one thing he will not do, is take consequences for his actions. That is too reasonable for this man to ever do. Bullshit with him.
He's got to deal with the consequences of that face. That's enough for him.
That's enough for him, yeah. His actions, God damn it. Braves general manager John Scherholtz, who's still around now, I don't know if he's the Braves, but he's around somewhere, he said about the situation, quote, you hate like anything to lose a guy like Otis, but there's nothing we can do about it. And then they asked him what happened because he was the one that told Otis he was suspended. And they said, well, what happened? He said, quote, he was very quiet. I can't accurately read his emotions. He didn't respond at all. So that was it. Like, he just sat there like, shit, I'm busted now.
I can't accurately read his emotions because
he just stone-faced it, and his face is literally made of stone.
Because he was he made a gargoyle face and just sat there. He looked like he belonged on a building.
Kind of looked like a goblin. Is that an emotion? Is goblin an emotion?
He looked like he belonged on a building in Gotham City.
That's it. He was feeling slightly goblin, if I had to put a finger on anything. That's all I know. A little goblin-y, I think, is where he was going with it.
He said to me, I wish I had some coke to get through this. That's what he said.
Because he sat there, too, like, fuck, I can't argue this one. Like, they let me out of it, dodged a bullet, and then I do this.
I've really blown it.
I gotta eat this one. I
could use some coke right now.
His season was fantastic in Atlanta, though, in 91. 124 games that he played in. 297 average is best. 72 steals, career high. That's fantastic. 72 steals is great.
That season is so long.
It's so long.
172 games.
162.
62. That's so many games.
That's a lot of fucking games.
God, Jesus.
At a 371 on base percentage, huge part of the whole run, and not there for the World Series. Not there. And they really could have been the difference. Yeah. Really could have been. Now, in an article, I was reading about all this, right? I'm reading an article, I'm reading all these old newspapers, and I got to tell you guys, September 25th, 1991, Otis Nixon was very disappointed in himself and looking forward to the future. Yeah. He was saying how he let the kids down more than anything, and he even said, he's like, your kids, my kids, all the kids, I let all the kids down.
Kids.
That was one of his quotes. He's like, your kids, my kids, all the kids. I let all the kids down. Like, he just kept saying that.
That's awesome.
The kids look up to me, and I let them down. It's like, no, the kids think you're a monster. They're not looking at you. They're going, look, I don't want to be him.
The kids look up at you in fear.
Yeah,
the kids look like
the kids
that.
want to be John Smoltz. They don't want to be you fucking goblin. So
they'd rather be Jim Abbott with his gimpy fucking hand than you.
Yeah, but I was reading this article, and it's really hard because it's so interesting that I couldn't even concentrate on Otis Nixon because I was so blown away by the sales over at Brad Reagan Tire and Appliance at 619 East Tennessee Avenue in Florence.
What do they got?
They got, these sales are top-notch, a 25-inch color TV with remote.
Oh, my God.
General Electric, too.
Yeah.
$398.48.
Holy shit.
By the way, that TV is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
CRT.
What size?
Crap.
How many inch?
25.
25 inch.
$398. You can get like a 60-inch flat screen now for that.
That thing's a doorstop these days.
Yeah, huge, big time, man. It's I was gonna say a paperweight, but it's like a weight for a tarp if you needed to hold something down. Put that on the firewood and then put the TV on it. Keep it from blowing away.
Keep the rain off the firewood.
I'm telling you. Also a JVC lightweight VHS camcorder.
All right.
Which was like a newfangled at
Yeah,
the time.
it's
like
a single hand.
One, single hand. $698.48 for this piece of shit.
Holy shit.
And everything on there looks terrible. If you grew up in the 90s and watched America's Funniest Home Videos and they all grainy and shitty, you could barely see the guy who gets hit in the nutsack with the wiffle ball, this is the camcorder they were using.
With that static bar across the top.
Yeah, with the time and date sitting on there because you can't figure out how to get the stamp
and
off.
it's never right.
Never right. Never right. It says it's 1873. I don't think that's correct. So, yeah, that's $698.48.
Those things were obsolete after the Y2K bug, I think.
I think so. Yeah, since phones.
They didn't even update the date, so it's all over in 2000 anyway.
It just doesn't matter. But since this is Brad Reagan Tire and Appliance, also, while you're looking at these two, deciding which piece of electronics, modern-day, top-tier electronics you're going to get, you can get an oil and lube job for only $10.88.
That is a deal.
With coupon. Do not forget the coupon. Guys, go to the paper, get the coupon.
Shit.
So if you're in September 25th, 1991, get down there for the sales because it's amazing.
If you're listening from 1990.
If you are listening from 26 years in the past, please go there and get in on these sales, man, because they're top notch.
$10.88 is a great deal for an oil change. That's unbelievable.
That's what I mean. If I could time travel, I'd be getting an oil change tomorrow on that shit. That's perfect. Now, December 7th, 1991, Otis had been petitioning the league to shorten his suspension. He wants to shorten it to time served, basically. Like I sat out the end of the season. I missed the World Series. That's enough, right? Yeah. Let me come back next year. In the beginning of the year, they say, go fuck yourself, you ugly son of a bitch. He'll miss the first 18 games of the 1992 season, which is, I believe, 21 days. Comes out to 18 games.
But that's still money. That's the
money
problem.
he's losing. Also,
that's the money that he's looking for.
Lost a decent chunk of it from the last year's, over $100,000, I believe. He lost from the last year for missing that last chunk, and all the bonuses too. You win playoff series, you get bonuses, and he's not getting any bonuses.
You get to the World Series, you get a check.
You get a check. You get a championship ring, which they probably gave him a ring because that's up to the team. The team votes on who gets a ring. Guys who came up and went down and shit like that. He was a pretty big part of it, but I would have been like, hey, fuck you. You couldn't wait another month to do cocaine, you asshole.
Save the team a little bit of cash on your stupid fucking ring.
Yeah, we could have won the World Series, and then you could have snorted your brains out for 6 months, but you had to do this now, you fucking idiot. We find out why, though, in a moment here. Now, he is a free agent on November 11th, 1991. Bad timing. Twice now, right before his contract runs out, this guy gets busted for cocaine.
What is he doing?
He's a fucking idiot. But back then, too, it's still silver-haired, middle-aged white men lined up to as far as the eye can see.
Just to defend your honor.
Brush that under the rug quick here. He's re-signed by Atlanta, the team he just fucked over on December 12th, 1991.
For a pay cut, I hope?
5 days after they found out, too, that he was going to have to miss the first 20 games, 18 games of the season. No, not a pay cut. He's making a little bank. In the 92 season, he makes $1.8 million.
Wow.
92. $1 million of it is bonus, but I think that might be just don't get arrested for cocaine. Yeah. Like, literally, it might be if you don't get suspended, you get $1 million bonus. Like, here's your contract. It's $800,000 and $1 million if you're not a jerk off, too. So you get $1.8 million. So he starts making money now. This is the beginning of his kind of high-dollar contracts. And he makes good money over the course of his career, too. Doesn't do too bad. January 1992, There's an articles about now Otis is coming out and spilling the beans about the cocaine and why he did it and what happened, and his excuses are great, though. It's
Here's the thing, though.
He's a moron.
With addiction, it's so sad because a man with his face should never make $1 million ever in their life combined.
And he didn't expect it.
And he's getting a $1.8 million contract. He should look in the mirror and go, hey, ugly fuck.
Yeah.
You will never do drugs ever again because we just got an amazing gift bestowed upon us.
No.
This is much better than having a good-looking face.
And we even have statements about it, too, where he talks about, like, small-town kid with that much money, I didn't know what to do. I really figured he's like, I'm from the middle of nowhere. Yeah. I look like
a monster.
I look like a burn victim. I'm probably going to work, in the field somewhere or in a factory. There's no way I'm going to make millions of dollars. So he just didn't have that mindset set out to be on the straight and narrow.
That's crazy.
So he says that there was a huge custody dispute with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Over his daughter that drove him to do the cocaine. Mm-hmm. This is a problem with him, with women. We're going to get into lots of marriages and lots of problems and all this sort of thing here. He says that a pharmacist friend of his gave him eight or nine lines of cocaine. First of all, that's a shit. I don't think not in his official capacity as a pharmacist.
Right.
He was just a pharmacist who happened to also have cocaine, I believe. I don't think he was like, hey, Otis, let me see that slip. Yeah, I'm going to prescribe you. I'm going to go ahead and give you 8 or 9 lines of cocaine for
I hear you
problem.
suffer from chronic fatigue.
Yes, this will help.
This will get you going.
This will get you going. Said the pharmacist gave him 8 or 9 lines of cocaine, which is a shitload of cocaine.
Yeah, and told him take this with food.
Well, yeah, take 2. And, the friend also told him that gave him a way to beat the test was the thing. The friend told him, look, dude, do the cocaine. You need to relax. He told him, you just make a cocktail with an herbal tea tablet and vinegar.
Oh,
and
boy.
they tried to do like shit you did in high school. Like,
Drink a cap full of bleach, bro. That'll clean it all out.
So it's like 3 bottles of Golden Seal and drink a bunch of water, man. It's
fine.
Cool. Yeah, so he's got this idiot drinking herbal tea tablets and vinegar like a fucking asshole and it doesn't work.
I think Otis was confused, though. When the pharmacist pulled out the coke, he was like, oh, thank you. And he's like, no, that's for me. That's what I need to look at your fucking face.
You really do, because it's rough, man. It's rough. You should see what I have to give my wife. I have to sedate her in the other room. She's frightened to have you in the home. My kids moved. Put it that way. I sent my kids with my parents because I just can't.
My wife divorced me and I lost custody of my children over your fucking face.
That's how ugly you are, dude. Seriously. Unreal. But that's highly possible, too. That's the sad part. Now, on drugs, we have an in their own words on him from this point.
Yeah.
He said, in their own words, quote, I had dropped the ball in trying to lead my life around. I let my guard down enough to see if it would work. I'm stronger now than I've probably ever been. My life is better. My relationships are better. I can talk about things. I have no secrets to hide. I am who I am, and I know where I'm going.
But I still have
to jail.
his face.
But I can't help this. Can't help what I got going on here.
Somebody should tell him he has $1 million. Fix your fucking face,
They're
man.
still fixing that face. You could sit down. They would need like the face-off movie technology where they could literally just absolutely replace his face with a more attractive person's face.
Just anybody else's face is more attractive. Charo's face is better.
His face, the way it looks very shriveled up, which is really weird because his head is very tiny also. He's got a very tiny head. He looks like someone, like a witch doctor shrunk his head.
And then reinflated it, but it's the same face.
But yeah,
the face didn't expand.
But didn't hydrate it properly. It's like a shrinky dink that you... Yeah, he's a used shrinky dink. He started out this, looked like a motorcycle. They put it in the oven. Now it's tiny and twisted around. And I'm like, I don't want that.
It's like a cardigan that you put in the dryer. Now it's just shrunken and fucked up.
Otis Shrinky Dink Jr. Nixon Jr.
But the buttons all stay the same size because obviously those don't shrink.
They're not going to shrink. They're metal. That's a mess when that happens. So
His face is so fucked up.
It's so bad. It's so bad. This is what we're dealing with here. Now... 1992, on the field, you want to laugh at his face some more, don't you? You're having fun with his face. I should have showed you his face ahead of time.
It hurts so much.
It's hard not to, man.
So, how does he get through life?
I don't know. It's way worse now, too.
I know.
so bad. It's so bad. I remember when I was a kid, we used to make fun of him. We're like, that Otis Nixon's an ugly motherfucker, isn't he? Like, when we were like 13. We're like, God damn, that dude's ugly.
I want to know the worst things that were ever said to him about his face, because he's gone through it for his whole life.
No, if I interviewed him, that would be...
That's the only thing I want to know. I want to know nothing about drugs, because I've got that. And James has got you on lock with that.
And women like him.
That's crazy.
That's how much success will get you women. You could literally be the most hideous man in your entire profession, and the women will still come to you if you have millions of dollars.
It is such a man's world. Jesus. God, if you get money, you can do fucking anything.
Imagine if a woman looked like that.
Oh, my God.
No men would be marrying her, especially not like successful women like we'll get into the people who married him. These are like famous people that married him, and you're like, are you out of your fucking mind? Have you looked at this guy?
His face looks like a California raisin.
But worse, one that got like left in a car and stepped on down on the carpet and mushed around.
The dried out dates that my grandmother eats so that she can shit look much better than his face.
Maybe Otis Nixon will make you shit. Who knows? I think looking at him will make you shit. He just looks at people who are like, oh, thank you, and they run.
I've been constipated for weeks.
Oh, so settling back to on the field here. On the field, 1992, he has a huge famous play that's still famous to this day. He makes what they call the catch in Atlanta. It's a catch. He robs Pittsburgh Pirates' Andy Van Slyke. You probably remember him, center fielder for the Pirates in the 80s and 90s.
Loved him.
Robs him of a home run. It's an amazing catch. Jumps up over the wall.
Really?
Catches it over the wall, and it saves the game. And it saves the Braves' 13-game winning streak that they had going at the time. Mm-hmm. It's a huge deal, like a big, giant deal. So this is it's the first round of the playoffs too. Yeah. So I mean, it was a giant deal. He saved the game. Big deal. So the
kid that was on the outfield wall that was going to get that ball sees that dude's face coming out.
They scattered.
Everybody got free.
They weren't holding their hands over the wall. They gave him a wide berth. Yeah. He had about 3 rows of play. It's fine. No one's coming near old Otis.
It was no Steve Bartman. Was that his name, Steve?
Yeah, Steve Bartman. I'm telling you, man. Now, on the field, in addition to making a spectacular catch, he has a fine year on the field. Hits .294 with 2 home runs.
Wow.
The power. He must be roiding. The power. He must be just roiding up.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Too, they talk to Mike Piazza, which I find this hilarious too, because I don't care either way who does what with themselves, but there's been rumors forever that Mike Piazza's gay. That's always been the rumor. Well, in this interview, it's from '97, he's talking about marveling at Otis Nixon's body.
What?
And he's like, I take care of myself. And he's like, but Otis Nixon, man, he's just ripped. He's got like 2% body fat. He's just a god, man. Like he was just going on a whole article about how Mike Piazza wants to fuck Otis Nixon. It's the weirdest fucking article. Who wrote somewhere halfway through that article? It'd be like, are we going to talk about what we were supposed to talk about? Or are you just going to talk about how you want to jerk Otis Nixon off? What's going on?
I came here to talk about your regimen and diet for your workout. Not talking about fucking that guy's cock. Slow down.
He was just looking at him from across the room. He's like, he was pointing him out, like, look at him. Look at him. Like he was literally like, look at him, like a dude would do with a girl. Like, look at those tits. He's like, look at her, man. Look at him, man. He's at 2% body fat, man. It's like, we can't compete with that, man. He's just a god. And I was
like, total butterface.
Yeah. Also, you know who else is cut like that? Cokeheads.
Yeah.
Cokeheads.
Yeah.
They're real cut. They're real. Not a lot of extra fat on them, the cokeheads.
Their metabolism just constantly burning that shit.
He also had 41 steals in 92, in addition to his massive power output of 2 home runs. Now, in 1992, at the same time after the season, Otis's ex-girlfriend is suing him for paternity support for their twin sons. He's got twin sons and a daughter. Yeah. So he's got that going with 2 different women. He's got a daughter with an ex-wife, and he's got 2 sons with an ex-girlfriend. Okay. He goes through the women like crazy. His courtships are fast. He gets married immediately. Yeah. He's a fucking idiot, basically.
Lives fast like a cokehead.
He lives fast like a cokehead, like he runs.
Yeah.
Now, October 1992, here starts his romantic escapades.
Okay.
October of 92, this is during the playoff run of the 92 season. He begins a romantic relationship with Juanita Leonard. Juanita Leonard is Sugar Ray Leonard's ex-wife.
What the fuck?
Sugar Ray Leonard, the world-famous champion boxer from the 80s. They had gotten divorced a year before this, but this is Sugar Ray Leonard's wife, basically. And then Sugar Ray Leonard's 2 kids are here, the whole deal. She also had just been dating Peebo Bryson, the musician.
How does she do this?
Him also.
She must be amazing.
She's okay. Yeah, it's so funny. Well, it's hard to tell because the one picture I didn't look up more than there's the one picture I saw of her was her and Otis Nixon. And Otis is like, he's looking like Otis Nixon.
Yeah.
He can't look happy. He just can't, his face isn't capable of it. And she's like hugging him, but she looks like she's angry or frightened or something. She's not smiling, so I can't tell.
Is that the one that's on the cover of a magazine?
It's not in a magazine. I got it out of a 1992 Jet magazine.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Jet magazine.
Yeah.
It's on the cover of
Jet.
Jet.
Looked at the picture of him. Okay. Yeah. I read the article that was in there.
That's the one on the cover of Jet.
Yeah, so that's Jet magazine. So he's hooked up with Sugar Ray Leonard's ex-wife. This is October 92. He has her and her 2 sons sit behind home plate for playoff games. Wow. Sends them for the limo. Yeah. She said she was so impressed with the limo rides and all that. Basically treats her like Mel Hall treated his underage girl that he was trying to have sex with. Go back and listen to Mel Hall. I think it's episode 17 or something.
It's really terrible.
He's a piece of garbage, but let's go on there. Now, on Juanita, we have an in their own words on how he felt about Juanita, and this is just, wow. He's
a poet?
No.
Okay.
This shows how he just falls head over heels for people immediately.
Gotcha.
Like, he's so needing input.
Yeah.
He's either doing cocaine, getting married, being in a relationship, doing this, doing that. Like, he can't just sit still. He needs to plug other things into his life to have things constantly going on, I guess, to keep up with that fast-ass metabolism of his 2% body fat that Mike Piazza's drooling over and stroking his cock to. So, in their own words, on his love of Juanita, here, let's see here. In their own words, quote, "During batting practice, I was thinking about Juanita. During the game, I was thinking about Juanita. And I told her we lost the game because I was thinking about her. I fell in love with her, and I just felt like this was the person I wanted to spend my life with."
My God.
He blew, well, he didn't really blow it, but their season ended in the playoffs that year on an extra inning bunt attempt that did not work by Otis Nixon.
Really?
He did get the game tying RBI to send it to extra innings, which the kids and Juanita must have been very excited about. Yeah. But then he was trying to do basically a squeeze bunt for a base hit at the end of the game because he was a good bunter, but it failed. That happens. I mean, it's a fucking bunt. It's not a perfect science.
Right.
But yeah, so he was basically saying, "I told Juanita, that's your fault. I wasn't concentrating."
Thinking about that snap and gyro.
I was thinking about that shit, man. So they asked Juanita, like, why are you with this guy who's been busted for cocaine and, looks like, I don't even know, looks like he ate a firecracker. What about that guy? How does that work? I mean, with the drug use, they asked him the whole deal, and she said, quote, "It didn't frighten me or deter me at all because I know Otis. They've been together. This is literally 2 months later."
That was about his face.
They've been together for 2 months. Yeah.
Didn't frighten me.
Didn't frighten me. I know him. He's got a face. He's a human. She said, "I know Otis. Yes, it was an unfortunate situation. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time doing the wrong thing then. Now he's really good about going to his meetings, getting tested. His sobriety is something that he works really hard at accomplishing."
He got somebody else to say I'm good now for him? That's
I
amazing.
was going to say, he got not only somebody, a beautiful woman with options.
Yeah.
Was married
plenty
to the
of
champion of
options.
the world, and she has money because I'm sure she took Sugar Ray for a good amount because Sugar Ray was an asshole, cheated on her, did a bunch of drugs, and knocked her around a couple of times. So guaranteed she got paid off from that. She has options. She ends up with a goblin who's on cocaine. Literally enabling him to the press, saying, "Look, guys, he's good now.
He's good now.
He's good now."
Somebody else is saying it for him.
For him.
That's fucking amazing.
That's the power of money and apparently ugly and maybe cocaine. Who knows?
He got a beautiful black woman to become a silver-haired, middle-aged white man for him. That is amazing.
Incredible.
He's a magician.
He's a magician.
That can't change his face.
I'm gonna say, if only there was a spell for that, a magic wand that would accomplish that.
Oh, fucking who needs Harry Potter more?
Shit, it's worse now. Fuck, never mind. So he loves her so much that on December 21st, 1992, after being together for about 3 months, they sneak off to a secret ceremony and get married in Jamaica.
Wow.
Not smart, first of all. All of his marriages
You're
are
in
like
trouble
this.
already.
They're all like, "We're getting married now. Let's do it. I've known you for a month. Let's get it on."
Let's go to Sandals and get married.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's doing fine. He plays the 93 season with Atlanta. He's got his Juanita there and the kids. Everybody's doing fine. He's living in Atlanta, having a happy time. And then he's a free agent at the end of that year. December 7th, 1993, he signs as a free agent with the Boston Red Sox.
Oh.
Big money. First year, he makes $3.25 million.
Wow.
So now he's stepping it up. Now he's had 3 years.
Rolling.
He's had 3 years of being a top base stealer and everything else, and for a good team. And he's been on plenty of exposure. The Braves were on national TV every goddamn day on TBS, and they were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
that's when TBS was big with them too.
They were playing every damn game they played, and so it's because the Braves were popular back then. I remember like people wearing Braves gear.
Everybody loved them
because they came out of nowhere and were good, and then we all hated them by the late 90s again. It was fine. So yeah, he signs with Boston. So the whole family there, they still stay in Atlanta and living in Atlanta, but he's in Boston. 94 season has 42 steals. It's 274 for Boston. So life is good for Otis, man. Life is going very well. On December 9th, 1994, after the season, he's traded by Boston.
Oh no.
Gets traded with Luis Ortiz to Texas for Jose Canseco.
How about that?
So let's get another lunatic in here. For Jose Canseco.
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
Unbelievable.
Jose
what a deal.
Canseco, that's an interesting deal. It's a good deal for Texas, actually, because Jose Canseco was on his last legs at that point. Ended up having a little resurgence in the late 90s there with Tampa. I think he had like 50 home runs one year.
Knocked around some chicks, too.
Oh, he always did.
Yeah.
Jose had some problems with that.
He's terrible.
Jose's got issues.
I enjoy him after baseball.
I do too.
He is fucking great after baseball. Yeah, he's hysterical. He's so funny.
I just love how he came out with his book, calling everybody out, calling the system out, and everybody came out and they were like, "He's such a liar." He said every single thing he said has been true.
Yes,
every single thing he said. It's because it's been over 10 years now. Didn't lie about shit.
Nothing.
He was telling the truth in that book about every scumbag in baseball. So now he is in Texas. Good season for Texas in 95.
Was that with Julio Franco? Was he there then?
Yeah, Pudge was there. Juan Gonzalez.
Juan Gonzalez, he was great.
He was great. I know this for a fact because I saw the 96 Rangers play the Yankees in the first game of the playoffs that year in New York. So that was
I loved Julio Franco's
Kenny
batting
Rogers.
style.
Oh yeah, he had the weird
way up over his head.
Yeah, Kenny Rogers pitching. That's what we were dealing with then. Now he hits 295, like I said that year, 50 steals.
Wow,
no home runs, but that's fine. He's not there.
They're not looking for that.
They got Juan Gonzalez down there. They got plenty of power. No big deal here. So he plays out the 95 season with Texas, and now he's a free agent again because he had signed a 3-year deal. He's a free agent. On December 7th, 95, he signs with Toronto. And he's getting old now. He's in his late 30s now. Still 1.6.
His face is in its 70s.
He looks 87 years old. That's the thing. When he's a rookie, you're like, ooh, that guy looks terrible if he was 40.
Right.
But by the time he's 40, you're like, That guy's elderly. Like, he's elderly. That's an elderly man that they have out there.
That guy looks terrible if he's 40.
Someone should sit him on a bench in the mall and just have him hang out there, you know? Go hang out down at the tire and appliance shop.
And it's hot in Texas, and they set that face to Texas.
Dry
Jesus.
him right out.
Yeah.
Makes him worse. Sucks it right out of him. At least in Atlanta, he's getting the moisture put back in. You never know. So he ends up signing with the Toronto Blue Jays, going back to Canada, makes $1.9 million for the 96 season. So
That's incredible.
He's still in high demand because he's a base stealer, and there's not a lot of them. And he's got a track record. In Toronto, 96, he hits .286 with 54 steals and 1 home run.
He's doing what he's supposed to do still.
One home run coming up. Hit over 280, steal a bunch of bags, and hit a home run.
Throw that in for good measure.
Swing for the fences, mister. So in 1997, he is traded on August 12th.
Real quick. Yeah. Every home run was an absolute accident, just so
totally,
you know.
Totally. He's like, there it is.
Yeah. He's trying to put one in midfield.
I just picture a windy day.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like wind's blowing out to right field. He goes with a pitch, and he's like, it's going.
It just carried it.
It just really scrapes over the wall like a line drive.
Every one of them was an accident.
Yeah, he didn't ever hit like a 500-footer that he watched as he walked up the baseline. That didn't happen.
He hit it and hauled ass and got to almost second, and he was like, oh, it went out.
Yeah, his coaches were like, no, it's good. And they were like making the whirly
Go
around sign.
But
No,
slow it down. You
You're
can
good.
trot. You can trot.
Just say, you look like you're on cocaine running that fast all the time for no reason. Jesus Christ. August 12th, he's traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers for a guy named Bobby Cripps, who never played a game in the majors. I looked him up, and he is a nobody.
Perfect.
He hits .266 in 1997 combined on the both teams, because he's Toronto and L.A. Hits .266, 59 steals. So even at 37, he can still move.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. And 2 home runs. The power he's getting in his late career. Good God,
Listen,
watch
I'm
out.
35.
Hey, everybody, move back. Otis is up at the No, get back to the warning track. He's coming.
I'm 35, and I can't. I mean, if I had to outrun a pitcher that
he could steal 60 bases.
No way.
Don't think so.
No
On a
way.
major
What is
league
it?
catcher.
30? Is it 38 feet? Or no, it's 60.
90 feet.
Is it
90
90?
feet.
Holy
90 feet.
shit.
90 feet to each base. 60's little
No
league.
way. No way I can do that.
No
way I can run
I'm getting
90
caught.
feet in the time that it takes a pitcher to turn around and toss a ball.
No, they could stop and they'd have to chase me back into the base, but I wouldn't even be sliding.
It would be a pickle
at that
situation
point.
every time.
I don't know. I'm not sliding there. I'd look like Sid Bream. That's an Atlanta reference for you baseball fans. He lumbered around to win a playoff series. Was Barry Bonds, missed the throw. Anyway, December 11th, 1997. Now, after the 97 season, he signs with the Minnesota Twins.
Oh boy!
And a 1-year deal worth $2 million. He's still getting paid, man, for the 98 season. To be 38, he's still getting paid.
This has got to be something to do with the union contract negotiations. That somebody late in their career. No.
I mean they could. They don't have a minimum.
League minimum.
They have a league minimum, but it's like $350,000 for rookies and shit. But they're
paying him $2 million a year.
Yeah,
at 38 years old.
38 years
old. That's bananas.
He's worth it though. He had 59 steals the year
Still
before.
bananas.
Yeah, if you want 60 steals in your lineup and
you got to pay $2 million.
And that's what it is. People go, we need some speed.
All right,
that's some speed right there. We can get him. He hasn't been busted for cocaine in like 6
38.
years. Hey, you know what? He might be 78. Have you seen him? Age is not a factor.
That's
with
what it
this guy.
is. They're like, this guy is fast as fuck for 72.
If he was from the Dominican, I'd say he played till he was 86 years old. They lied about his age, and he played till he was 80. When he came into the league, he was really only 3.
Right.
Or he was, so he was 48, and they said he was 3, and it's ridiculous. But he's an American, so we're pretty sure his birth certificate's accurate. He's just hideous. So he has, in the 98 season with Minnesota, he hits .297. It's almost 300 in 110 games. 37 steals, which is still damn good, and 1 home run.
He's still cranking them out.
He's on a power tear. He's got 4 in 3 years. A tear. Now, 1998, in the beginning of the season, during that season here, he has the reason why he only played 110 games is because he got kicked in the face in the beginning of the season,
and
it
improved his looks.
He was never looked better because they bandaged him and they were like perfect, just like that.
He's a model now.
Yeah, he was sliding into second base during a double play, and Kansas City shortstop Felix Martinez kicked him in the face and broke his jaw.
Wow,
by accident.
Broke his jaw.
Yeah, broke his jaw. So he was out for a few weeks.
And
that's why he only
second?
Sliding into second, trying to break up a double play. Yeah. He got kicked, and the guy came out, and Martinez came out and apologized. I mean, he kicked you in the face, which he might have.
He's in his old age now at this point, and he forgot when you break up a double play, you slide in feet first. You stupid fuck.
You know what? The jaw is actually a better result because he could have broken a hip. Let's be real. realistic here. He could have broken a hip. The man's geriatric. I don't know if he drank his Ensure that morning. His bones are brittle. He's got osteoporosis.
Somebody listening may have seen that coming, but I sure the fuck didn't, and that's why I just laughed so hard. That was fucking perfect. Oh my god. Okay,
That's
go
awesome.
on.
That's awesome. Oh, I love it so much, man. He's
I'm
such
having
a mess.
so much fun tonight. This is so
I am
great.
too. This is a good time, man. This guy Otis Nixon's a good time.
Yeah.
And he's got some crazy, some interesting crime coming up too.
Great.
We have one incident that he has that's almost a callback to Jared Wyatt.
Oh, terrific.
He almost had a Jared Wyatt situation.
Really?
I mean, this is our second guy. Put it this way: it's our second guy who was naked with a knife in less than a month.
All right.
Well, that's a teaser for a little bit from now here.
Let's get into this.
Now, December 1st, 1998, he signs with Atlanta at age 40. He is 40. They give him $1.5 million for the 99 season.
He has made so much money.
He's made a lot of money.
He has made
really
so
has. He's
much
done
money.
Great. The 1999 season, 84 games. He only hits 205. Still has 26 steals, though, at 40 years old. Somehow stealing bags. He's so fast. I guess it's that 2% body fat that Piazza finds so attractive. Yeah, it's 17 years total he played in the majors.
Crazy.
17 years. That's a great career.
That's unbelievable. That's unheard of.
The average career is like 3 years or something. So 17 years. Over the course of his career, he hits 270. So he's a fine hitter. 11 home runs in 17 seasons. So
he doesn't even average one a season.
No.
That lets you know that
without going
all 11, 100% accident.
Oh yeah,
everyone.
The year he hit 3, he was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just windy out.
He just guessed right.
Windy.
Yeah.
He has 620 steals in his career, which is the big one. 658 OPS, but the 620 steals, he has the most steals for the least amount of at bats in a career.
Wow.
For guys with under 6,000 at bats, he's got the most amount of steals by a long shot, by like 100.
Wow.
Over the next guy with under 6,000.
Who's the next one?
I don't remember. It's an old guy.
Not even Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson's all-time leader.
Okay, yeah,
he's all-time,
yeah.
but he has a shitload of at-bats. His at-bats
that's what
he played for
26
years or some crazy shit, 23 years.
He didn't he?
Yeah, Ricky played till he was 45.
Also a guy with a coke problem.
Oh, did he have a coke problem?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't remember him getting busted for coke, but he might have got suspended for coke or some shit like that. But I don't remember any arrests.
Pretty sure.
Or else he'd be on my radar, mister. Thinking I was that. Now, career-wise, he ranks 16th all-time in steals. So that's
really?
The history of baseball to this day.
16th.
That's not when he retired. When he retired, he was way higher up the list.
That's impressive as fuck.
I think he was 7th when he retired or something, 8th or some shit like that. But 16th. That's impressive.
Unbelievable.
He has the most steals for any player never named to an all-star team. So that's an interesting thing. Never named to an all-star team. You know why? Because the fans are voting MLB, and they were like, I'm not voting for that ugly son of a bitch. I don't want to see him anymore. More.
That's an extra day of baseball, not that face.
I don't want to see him. This is just a fun day, the all-star game. It's not a day to look at goblins. Let's not do that. So of his career and on his career, we have an in their own words on his career here. This is basically on his off-field fuck-ups and his constant disaster here. He says, and he's talking to the Braves GM, John Sherholtz. He says, in their own words, quote, I told John what happened. What happened is when you give a country boy that didn't have any money $10 million. I didn't know what to do. I was like a kid in a candy store. I believed everybody, bad, good, and everything. Then I got caught off the field. I didn't know how to handle getting that much money. So he has no fucking, which makes sense. He's like, I don't know. I just went and partied.
Kid in the nose candy store.
Shit.
Jesus.
One moment I'm an ugly kid from the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Next minute I'm marrying the champ's wife. I got it going on. This is great. Might as well snort some cocaine.
Unbelievable.
So here's something interesting that we're going to get into now.
Ricky Anderson, just for the record, does not have a coke problem.
No, I didn't think
I Googled it.
He's just crazy.
I thought he did.
He's just insane. Yeah. That's the thing with him.
It's just the steroids.
He had
I'm pretty sure there was steroids.
So he was one of those guys. Yeah, maybe that's possible. He was another guy who was built like a.
Oh God!
I mean, Piazza must have fucking
His
jerked off on him a lot.
Were ridiculous.
Yeah, he was built like a statue. He really was. He was wild.
He had tree trunks for legs for real. Like
he did.
The grooves and everything. Yeah. And you saw them through the fucking pants.
Yeah,
it
that's
was ridiculous.
Giant quad muscles he had. All right, now we sound like Piazza. Let's calm down.
Still put that thing away.
Come on, Jimmie, put it away, buddy. Let's not. Not in the studio.
Okay, let's go.
Come on. The other people have to use the studio. So the radio show is going to come in the morning. They're going to be like, what the fuck happened?
What is all this
Why
yogurt?
is my chair damp?
Why is there yogurt on the seats?
So now we know that Otis Nixon, he's got a coke problem, obviously. He had one issue, but he's had it twice now. And you're pretty sure that that's going to bubble up again. At this point, he starts becoming getting into charity, starts getting into religion. Finds Christianity hardcore.
Oh, God.
Guys, Junior,
Yep.
don't find fucking religion. He's breaking all the rules right now.
He's getting married every time there's problems.
Constantly. He just gets married whenever, just all the time.
Just
So
on a
he doesn't
whim.
give a shit on a whim. Unreal. So in the late 90s, now he's already divorced from Juanita here by the late 90s. Okay. Juanita Leonard, she's out of the picture. That didn't last long, obviously, because no one can last with this lunatic, as we'll get into. The late 90s, he befriends Whitney Houston.
What?
Okay, now, we all know of Whitney Houston's well-documented problems with substances such as cocaine and crack and that sort of thing. And if you've ever heard not only just basic any kind of documentary, any kind of news footage, but if you listen to Joey Diaz, the comedian, ever talk about he used to get, cocaine for... He used to live in the same area and used to get cocaine for Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown.
He did?
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard this story.
It's on Joe Rogan. He talked about it.
Amazing.
Forever. He basically would get them like an ounce a day when they were they were working on some show thing or something, but they'd give him their per diem money every day, which was like $1,000. And he'd go get him a bunch of coke. And he said, I'd take a fucking bunch of money and I'd steal some of the coke and I'd fucking give them whatever. They didn't care. They just wanted to smoke a bunch of crack. He's like, every single day they wanted it, though.
Wow.
So that's what we're dealing with here. Whitney Houston's a mess at this point, especially. And she ends up, obviously, sadly, her life turned out very, very sad. But
her life is as ugly as Otis's face.
It really is.
It really got ugly.
So, and Whitney Houston, beautiful woman.
Oh, my
too.
God.
So these two hanging out, you can't get any more
even at her
opposite.
death.
Yeah.
Even when she died, she was still a beautiful girl.
She was really pretty. And so you can't get any two more opposites than Whitney Houston and this goblin. But they have something in common. They both live in the same gated community in Atlanta, and they both like cocaine.
Love cocaine.
But this is what... But at this point, he is crediting Whitney Houston for helping him get into doing charity work and encouraging him along in his sobriety. What? He's crediting Whitney Houston for helping with sobriety.
When Whitney Houston helps your life, you are fucked
with
up.
Sobriety. That's insanity. That is batshit.
You get as sober as me. And you'll be fine.
That's like asking Randy Woodfield to help with your sexual compulsions. Like, no, he's not going to help you. Look 2 episodes back. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Oh, my God.
They became so close that Whitney Houston and her children moved in with him.
What?
In Atlanta. They lived in the same house. They were living in the same house. Apparently, there was a documentary coming out in March where he's on it heavily because of the whole Whitney Houston thing.
It was all filmed then?
No. It's all filmed now, talking about that.
Oh,
but
okay.
Otis Nixon is on this documentary a lot, talking about Whitney Houston because he knew her well, apparently, and lived in the same house with her. He said, quote, Whitney's daughter, Bobby Christina, moved in with my daughter, Genesis.
Wow.
So Whitney Houston's dead daughter lived in his house with his daughter, Genesis. In the same room. Yeah, he was like, I like Sega. No, she was born in the 80s. Though. Yeah. Still. Genesis.
It was because she's the start. She's
the start
of his happy life because he's fucking religious. What a dickbag.
Yeah, he's very religious too. We're gonna get. He has ministries.
Oh my God,
it's wild. It's his bouncing from like I'm into God. Shit, I'm under arrest. I'm into God. Oh no, I'm fucked up again. Is amazing over the next 15 years. His post baseball life is beautiful, man. Now, so they live there. He says, like I said, Whitney encouraged him to be sober. That's amazing, and do charity work, which he's very into charity work. I got to say, very much into it. Of course, it's kind of a little less. It's a little less, relevant your charity work when you are doing cocaine and getting arrested for the shit that he's getting arrested for, as we're going to get into.
Hope she didn't teach him how to take a bath too.
Oh, let's hope not.
Glove.
Let's hope not, and let's hope his daughter didn't hang out with the other one too. Now, that didn't work out well. Now, August 2000. Otis becomes friendly with one of his longtime neighbors. They live in the same gated community, and they both, unreal, they both are on the Trinity Broadcasting Network a lot. She has been on the Trinity Broadcasting Network for a while now. She is another one that kind of just found religion. He befriends Perry Pebbles Reed.
Okay.
Pebbles was a pop star in the 80s.
Yeah.
She had like a few hit songs, like R&B type songs. And then later on in the 90s, she became the manager of TLC.
What?
Yes, TLC, the big mega pop R&B group.
Don't go chasing waterfalls, chicks.
Exactly.
Right.
She was their manager up until 1995 when they declared bankruptcy because they said her management group stole funds from men's. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Now, this wasn't just Pebbles. Pebbles was their manager, but the whole management company was owned by her and her husband. It was a guy who they got a divorce at this point, too.
And he's a shady character.
She was blaming him for it. Right. Yeah. So Pebbles here, pop star, TLC manager, and now Trinity Broadcasting Network.
Because she found God.
She found God.
Right.
So now she's a personality on there, and she's singing gospel songs.
Oh.
This woman, unfortunately, has Otis walk into her life and steal something, I'm sure.
Right.
He's a stealer. They begin talking at a prayer meeting.
Oh, boy.
Which is, in our experience on this show, any professional athlete that meets a girl in a prayer meeting, run far away. Because you found religion. Now you're finding a girl in religion, which is going to completely fuck everything up. So they begin talking. She had only become a Christian in 1997. So she's a new Christian, but she said, hey, there's a career here.
You betcha.
I could be on TV doing this shit rather than, working a regular job.
I'm trying to swindle pop stars out of their cash. I'll just swindle...
Trying to swindle crazy pop stars who burn down wide receivers' houses.
And then crash cars and die.
And then crash cars and die. It happens, man. So September 30th, 2000. August 20th. August 2000, they started talking. September 30th, 2000, Nixon and Reed get married.
Oh, God.
He can't be with someone free. He's like, I just met you. I need to marry you now. He's so impulsive. He's made of cocaine. Yeah. He's like a giant crack rock. That would explain the divots and the cuts.
Oh, God.
He's a crack rock.
There's so many marks in his face.
He's a crack rock. They get married in the Bahamas, too. He needs to go to the islands to get married all the time.
He's an island man.
Reed said she plans to keep working with the ministry and also to work with his ministry that he's got going on because he's got charities and Otis Nixon Ministries.
He marries him on the beach so that the sun's in their eyes and they can't see his face.
Imagine him squinting. That face squinting isn't good. She's like, yeah, I do, I guess. Shit. You got cocaine, right? Okay. You saved your money? Okay, good. Fine. I'll marry you.
You're a country boy with 10 mil. Let's do this.
So now he's married to her. A couple years goes by. He's working charity events. He's working for the Trinity Broadcasting Network.
Robbing old ladies out of their money.
Exactly. He's doing all that sort of thing. Now, January 8th, 2004, still married. Otis is at a Town Place Suites hotel in Georgia.
Sounds lovely.
And it's not. It's a seedy motel from what we find out later on.
There's no free breakfast.
No continental breakfast there. Otis had his bodyguard with him. What the fuck does he have a bodyguard for? What does he have a bodyguard for? Who is bothering Otis Nixon? Your face will scare anyone away. Why do you have a bodyguard?
Nobody's going to believe that you played baseball.
No. You look like a crackhead. No. They'd say, when did you play baseball? With Babe Ruth? What are you, 116 years old? Look at you, you disaster. So he looked like he looked at Medusa and just turned to stone. Like, that's his face. So he's got his bodyguard, Kevin Brown, with him for some fucking reason. I don't know why. He tells Brown to go out and pick up a female friend of his and bring her back to the room for him, basically. While driving, Kevin Brown takes off to go pick the girl up. Yeah. While he's driving, he gets a phone call from Otis Nixon saying, no, never mind, turn around, come back to the hotel. Don't go pick her up, okay? So, who knows what's going on? Maybe he found somebody better. Right. Maybe he changed his mind.
Maybe he's going to stay faithful to his wife.
Let's not get crazy now. Let's keep it Let's keep it light, Jimmy. Let's not make wild accusations like he'd be faithful to his wife or not do cocaine or something. Let's not be crazy. So Brown said when he gets back to the room, he opens the door and Otis is naked as shit, yelling into a cell phone.
What the fuck?
It's like, okay. So he's totally naked.
Awesome.
Just walking around the room, not sitting on the bed, not under the covers, just walking around like, where the fuck is my pizza? It's been 35 minutes. Like, that's not what he said, but he's yelling into a cell phone. So Brown, feeling uncomfortable that his dong is swinging around in front of his face, asks him if he could please put some clothes on. Otis ignores him, continues to walk around the room with his dick swinging, yelling into a cell phone. So Brown then asks him for money that he's owed. Later on...
What? That's your second question? Because you put pants on, you're not putting pants on.
Where's
Can
that
I have money?
Well, he's owed him money, and we find out... I didn't find this out. This wasn't in any reports until the prosecutor who prosecuted this case wrote just like a little thing about Otis Nixon, was like, he seemed like a nice guy back then with a drug problem, and talking about his time as a prosecutor. Yeah. He said he remembered this incident, and the altercation was over money for crack.
Good God.
basically Nixon sent him out to get him crack, and the guy got him crack, and then he was like, "Where's the money for the crack?" And he was like, "Go fuck yourself." Like that's what it was. He owed him money for the crack he went out and got him. So that's why he's
money.
got a
I don't even
bodyguard.
know where my pants are.
I can't find pants. I got a phone though. So he also has another thing here because Brown asked for the money, and Otis becomes enraged.
Yeah.
Enraged, puts his cell phone down because he needs to have his hands while he's, mind you, he doesn't even put a pair of boxers on. Still completely naked, arguing with him. First of all, if I get into an argument with a guy, if me and you are talking and I'm naked for some reason and then we start arguing, I'm putting clothes on as we argue. I don't feel comfortable being like, yo, fuck you, man, with my balls hanging out. It's very vulnerable.
But I'm going to tell you something. If you tell me fuck you, man, with your dick out, I'm like, maybe fuck me. I'm going to walk away.
Get out of here. All right. You win. Yeah. You win this one, buddy.
This round goes to you.
This round, you got this. So instead, he's completely naked. He grabs a kitchen knife from the room. He grabs a kitchen knife and chases Brown from the hotel room with the kitchen knife. Butt naked with a kitchen. Now, this is our second guy in a very short amount of time who is butt-ass naked with a kitchen knife threatening somebody. He also produces a black folding knife that he had somewhere. He takes that out. He's got 2 knives now. This is before they went out. He grabbed that, too. He's got 2 knives now, buck naked in the hallway, threatening this guy. And he is heard to yell by tons of hotel guests, quote, "I will cut your heart out." Otis Jr., Nixon Jr., folks. I will cut your fucking heart out. So now he's butt naked, threatening to cut a man's heart out. And I'm like, where have I heard this before? Holy shit. Jared Wyatt.
And he's got 3 pieces that he's going to do it with. One of these knives or this dick.
And he's Otis Nixon. He's crazy. He's enraged. He's naked. He's on cocaine. Who knows if he's, waiting on a woman and all that. It's
Body
insane.
of a god, the face of a goblin.
No shit. Yeah. Mike Piazza's looking down the hallway like, shit, is that? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Beat to that.
Piazza's just hanging at the end of the hallway, just like chewing on a toothpick.
Slow stroking.
Yeah. Just staring, licking his lips. Like, yeah. I like that.
You go get him, Otis. You go get him,
Otis. Come on now. Make it sexy. Make it sexy, Otis. Come on. Otis, do me a favor. Take that knife. Put it in your mouth like the Buccaneers helmet. If you could just do that. It's kind of sexy. I like that.
Otis, do me a favor.
Otis, do me a solid. He's flipping 20s at him. Shit.
I'm making it rain.
Making it rain. He's like, Otis, when you're approaching him, if you could just turn to your left a little bit so I can see the outline of your buttocks, because it's chiseled. It's just chiseled.
So
it's just chiseled, man. So, obviously.
Otis, do me a favor.
Otis. Hey, Otis. Hey, buddy. Let me ask you something. Hey, buddy.
You know Piazza's done that shit before.
You know he has. He has.
Good God.
Hey, Otis.
Fucking Mets.
Otis. So, I think he keeps the S long.
Yes. Otis.
Let me ask you something, Otis.
Oh, my God. All right.
So the police arrive, obviously, because people are like, hey, there's a crazy man naked with 2 knives threatening to cut a man's heart out in the fucking hallway. Even in a shit motel, that'll gain attention a little bit. So he's, obviously the police arrive. Now, Nixon claims that Brown was the aggressor. If 2 men are fighting and one of them's naked, the naked guy's the aggressor, period. The guy with clothes on would have rather not had that altercation. Every single time. Naked man, always the aggressor.
In public, mind you, not just in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He left the room because of the knife, and he followed him out. He's like, hey, get your dick back in the room.
That's the aggressor every time.
Every single time. He said that he was only naked because a woman was coming over. Gets right down to business, doesn't he? She was going to walk in. He's naked on the cell phone.
Listen,
yeah, come on over here. Do this.
I'm paying by the hour. I'm not going to waste some time taking clothes off.
Not even a pair of pants and no shirt or some boxers or a pair of basketball shorts like he's lounging.
He's getting his money's worth.
He said he sent the guard out and he's like, all right, take my cock out and get ready. All right, he'll be back here in about 20.
Get 1 hour. Time starts soon as that door opens.
Hold on, let me get it ready. Piazza, fluff me. Piazza, juggle my balls. Come on.
I got you, Otis.
I got you, Otis. He's just under the bed. He pops out slow and he's like, let me see those balls, Otis. Why don't you lower them down here? So Nixon,
I'm good catching balls.
You know nobody can
Made
catch
a career
like
catching
nobody.
balls.
Nobody. You like my mullet? He had a
I just
fine
got
mullet.
that. He's a catcher.
He's a
He
catcher.
was a fucking catcher.
Yeah, he's a catcher. Nobody catches like me, Otis. I'm an all-star.
Jesus.
An all-star.
Oh, this one's been fun. Let's go.
This is good. Yeah. So Nixon is arrested, obviously. He can't talk his way out.
I fucking hope so.
He always tries to talk his way out of shit. He never just goes, busted. He's always like, no, but I was
It
this,
wasn't
and it was
me.
me, and it was the guy, and he came with the thing, and I don't know what happened.
And now my dick's out.
Cocaine! And he runs away. So he's arrested. He's charged with aggravated assault, obviously. He's taken to Gwinnett County Jail. He's in jail for like 3 days. He's finally released on $3,300 bail on that one. Now, February 2004, this is the next month.
Yeah.
He's still married, mind you.
Yeah.
Otis is arrested when police are called to his home because a woman called them after on him because he had been inappropriately fondling her inside of his home.
His wife?
No.
Some other
God,
broad.
no.
Some other chick.
No, some other.
Unbelievable.
He's inappropriately fondling her, apparently, against her will.
A month after he's chasing a man threatening to
Yeah.
cut.
So he's unstable at this point.
Yeah.
He's doing cocaine again.
It's unwinding.
It's unwinding
rapidly.
quickly.
Yeah.
He's arrested and charged with misdemeanor sexual battery, which he's probably lucky it's a misdemeanor,
No
judging
doubt.
by his criminal record, too. So big shocker. A couple months after that, Otis and Pebbles divorce. He's like, okay, so you've been arrested naked trying to cut a man's heart out and fondling a woman in our home.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to call this a day. Thank you. I'm going to go back to the ministry, and we're going to fucking work this out.
I'm going to go steal from old ladies, and you just do whatever you do.
I was going to say, I'll steal from old ladies since TLC's all dried up. I
Right.
stole everything I could out of them. Yeah, music manager and then evangelist. You can't get any more shady than, let's
That's
say,
crazy.
a boxing promoter would be the only other way that you could get worse. And she promotes fights on the side. That'd be the only other way she could be shadier, this woman.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, October 15th, 2004, Otis is arrested again. Stacking. He's stacking right now. He's arrested when his bond for sexual battery is, the bond is revoked because he missed a court date because he's a fucking moron.
Dumb.
So you got to go for your court dates, jackass.
You're
That's
telling
not
me
gonna-
telling me he's not reliable to keep a schedule?
No, he's not reliable at all. And he has, like I said, he has 3 kids now. He's
Yeah.
got 3 kids. He's got 3 wives,
Yeah.
3 wives and an ex-girlfriend that he's had kids with, probably never paid anything. Piazza's been eyeballing his cock forever and he can't get a piece of it. He's assaulted a woman, threatened to cut a man's heart out, let the entire city of Atlanta down in the 91 World Series, cost them a goddamn parade. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy. I feel so bad for all these people.
No way.
But not nearly as bad as I feel for Otis Nixon, independent arts and crafts professional in Norfolk, Virginia.
How about that?
And, of course, Otis Nixon, an automotive repair professional in Albuquerque, New Mexico, they actually are having better lives than this Otis Nixon somehow.
A mechanic in fucking New Mexico.
Like, thank
As
God I'm
if
not
that
that guy.
life isn't bad enough.
Yeah.
He happens to have that fucking
They're
name.
like, Otis Nixon, ooh, you're ugly.
Thank God he didn't have Otis Jr. Nixon Jr. as
Jesus
his
Christ.
fucking name.
That
Poor guy.
No one is that stupid
Nobody,
except for his parents here. Now, December 19th, 2005, he is arrested again for violation of his probation because he's a fucking idiot and he has to be arrested for
Sweet
everything.
Pete.
Again, he's just constantly, every mugshot's worse, too. It's like a flip book. It's a flip book, man. Started at 87 and flipped to 2016. You're going to go, oh my God, I watched that man die and then decompose. It's amazing.
It looks like he got caught on fire. It's like if you strike a match and then you put it out in water,
that's exactly
let
what
it
it looks
dry
like.
out, and then light it up again, put it out in water, and then just keep doing that over and over again.
It
And
just deteriorates.
That round tip just slowly turns into like
That's
a
what
point.
his head. That's his head, and it's getting smaller. His head too. It is like a raisin.
The
Now-
weird part about his hairline is that like it's starting to like recede, but like in 7 different spots.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know how people get those 2 little spots?
He's just got a little hair yarmulke on top of his crusty,
looks like a
disgusting,
hand of
shriveled
hair.
up head. Yeah, he's got tentacles. He's got hair tentacles.
It looks like somebody took half an
Not
orange
great.
and then just set it on his head, and all those spots where it split.
Oh God, it is what it looks like. And he went, "That's hair now.
That's
that works
it.
for me." Now, through this time, past 2005, while all this is going on, he is still a major contributor to the Trinity Broadcasting Network. So he's working the Christian scene.
He is godding it up with all
He's
this shit
gotten
going
it up.
on.
Oh, by the way, while all this is going on, he has some serious charity work. He's got his ministry. He's got the Otis Nixon Foundation.
Wow.
We'll get into some of his deals here. Some of them are legitimate. Some are legitimate. Not all. October 22nd, 2009, he releases a book.
Of course.
Of course he does.
What's it called?
Keeping It Real.
Oh, boy.
He is full of shit on every aspect ever, keeping it real. No, you're not keeping shit real. What you're doing is ruining people's lives and including your own.
What year was that?
2009.
2009.
October 22nd.
That is after Dave Chappelle's When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Way after.
He was like, I like that phrase, keeping it real. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to use that. I feel like that's what he says. Like, yeah,
when
keeping it real.
Keeping It Real goes wrong, brother.
You turn into Otis Nixon. That's what happens when keeping it real goes wrong. It's unreal, man.
And this is when Otis knew he fucked up.
Now, we have an In Their Own Words on the book and the everything, how he feels about why he's releasing this book.
Right.
He says, in their own words, quote, I made some boo-boos off the field. Well, no shit. Some boo-boos.
He's hilarious.
I made some boo-boos. It happens. So, sometimes you threaten to cut a man's heart out. These things happen.
What a boo-boo.
You can be the best man in the world, best businessman, best writer, best baseball player, and it's still challenging to be a better man. You don't have to make the mistakes I made, that Tiger made, that some of the presidents made, that some of the governors made, and at the end of the day, I've got a book on how to and how not to.
Oh, boy.
Let's unpack that shit, okay? Yeah. First of all, boo-boos, amazing. Second of all, when he said best businessman, best writer, best baseball player, I feel like he was sitting in the room with a businessman and the writer was interviewing him and he's a baseball player, and those are the only three professions he could think of. It's like you could be the best, Bob's a businessman, like his agent was there. He was a writer, a baseball player, had no other job lined up for that. Second of all, he brings up, I love how he compares himself to Tiger Woods, the best at his profession possibly ever. Those, on a completely different stratus than Otis fucking Nixon. Presidents and governors, or jerk-off crackheads who just marry people after a month and then threaten to stab people when they didn't get to have sex with a prostitute.
They got super lucky to play in a league at the time that they needed speed so fucking bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They needed it, and that was perfect. That's unreal, though.
Unbelievable.
To me. That statement, I'm just like, did he just say? Because he thinks he's like a legitimate dude. In his mind, he's like, no. I am a straight and narrow guy. Everyone should see that by my records, obviously. Clearly. Now, in 2010, Otis gets married again.
Oh, God.
Again, after another short courtship here. It's unreal, man. He marries a gospel singer at this point and former disco singer named Candy Staton.
Okay.
She also works for Trinity Broadcasting Network. He doesn't get around. She is 19 years older than him and looks 10 years younger than him.
Wow.
She's 70 years old. She looks way younger than him. Like when I saw him, I was like, oh, they did well for himself. And then I'm like, oh shit, she's 20 years older than him. And he looks way worse than her.
Unbelievable.
Like, way fucking worse. Staton covered Stand By Your Man in 1970, which was a big hit, the Tammy Wynette song. Had a 1976 hit called Young Hearts Run Free, which was a disco song. It made it to like number 30 in the UK. So she had some success, and she's been a gospel and Christian singer since the late 70s, though. And she is in the Christian Music Hall of Fame.
Oh.
This woman. So she's very, very, very big in that world.
Wow.
Otis is her sixth husband.
Oh, my God.
So she missed whatever part of religion said not to get repeatedly married and divorced. I don't know what part that was. She just skipped that part of the Bible. It was like,
in her defense, maybe she just picks the wrong dudes. She's marrying Otis. Clearly she doesn't have the best judge of character.
Yeah, no, she married, one guy was a musician. Other guy, she married like a Harvard graduate who was like a pianist or something. Yeah. And then she would marry like a thug. Like she really had a vast array of marriages.
Maybe those pianists are mean fucking guys.
Maybe. Now, October 2010, he just got married. October 2010, local people in Jersey, Georgia, form a group to stop Otis from using a home that he purchased. He purchases a home at 3330 Daly Road, and he wants to start a halfway house to help people coming out of jail. And his charity recently filed a zoning. The thing to have it zoned so he could do that, and the local people freak out.
The neighbors are like, no, don't do that.
They form a group to protest the situation, and
it was in Georgia?
It was in Georgia, and he ends up definitely having halfway houses, as we'll get into, so they don't stop him. Now, his charity work in 2011, Otis Nixon and John Rocker These
Oh, my
two.
God.
Hi, welcome to two biggest idiots in the history of the Braves, everybody. How you doing?
Not just John Rocker, but John Rocker's wife. Everything involved in John
Morons.
Rocker's life is fucking crazy.
Crazy. So these two address a group of college baseball players in South Carolina, basically the importance of not being a jerk-off and staying away from drugs. Hi.
Wasn't it John Rocker's
We're the
wife
two
that
biggest
said if
idiots
he
in the
ever
world.
cheats on me, I'll fuck his whole team?
I don't know if
I
that was
think
his
it was
wife.
his wife.
I don't know. I'm more familiar with his statements. And they're wacky. John
I'm pretty
Rocker's
sure it was John
crazy.
Rocker's wife.
And you know Rocker said a racial slur about Nixon under his
Absolutely.
breath during the thing. He's like, thank you for taking this fucking shit. What was that? Oh, nothing, buddy. Nothing. It's all good. Sorry, I just can't help myself.
Unbelievable.
Now, early in 2011, his ministry, On Track Ministries, On Track, he calls his ministry. I'm on track, man.
Oh, boy.
On Track Ministries, his ministry, and him, because he is the sole whatever
He
of On
called
Track.
his ministry, I'm good now.
I'm good now, Ministries. So I'm good. They are fined $1,090 by the state of Georgia for running an unregistered, unlicensed halfway house.
Wow.
He just said, I'll just open a halfway house with no licensing and call that charity. That's charity now. Yay. So he's fucking moron. Doesn't go through the proper channels. Doesn't stop everyone else, though. March 2nd, 2012, he's the keynote speaker at Coastal Horizons annual fundraising luncheon in Wilmington, North Carolina. Polite Society keeps inviting this guy back constantly. Where do you hear some of the events he does here? He's to talk about winning his battle with addiction. That's all he's going to talk about. Winning my battle with cocaine.
I got a feeling you're not winning anything, sir.
Winning. He's winning the battle with coke. Jimmie, he's winning. He's fine. He had a couple of speed bumps, but he's fine. Jesus, Piazza stroked it right out of him. Don't worry. December 12th, 2012, Candy divorces him. That lasted 2 years.
She's done.
She's done. We'll have some words from her on that marriage and exactly what happened there, because she had some interesting things to say about him. Now, he says on the whole religion and charity, everything like that, we have it in their own words.
Great.
He says in their own words, quote, God has called me. I've been chosen. I was chosen for this, not knowing it. I have a passion for helping people. I'm an evangelist. I don't have a church and members. I go from church to church. I have an outreach ministry. I'm a regular on TBN, Trinity Broadcast Network. I do a lot of traveling trying to help people wherever I can. So I am good now.
I am good now.
Everything is fine, right? No problem.
Read that again.
No problem.
Read that again.
Which part?
The part that right before I'm an evangelist.
Oh, he said, I have a passion for helping people.
Yes.
A passion.
Of course.
I'm an evangelist.
I'm an evangelist.
I don't
Then
have
what?
a church of members. I go from church to church. I have an outreach ministry.
Jesus called me.
I'm not one of these pussies that sits in a church waiting for people to come to me. I
was naked. I had 2 knives, and I was on a cell phone screaming at God.
Like, listen here, Lord. Make me not so ugly. What'd you do to me? So February 12, 2013, Nixon's ministry has been working with the prison system, finding reentry homes for released convicts in his ministry's halfway house. His program is no longer approved by the state, though, even though Nixon boasts about friendships with both former governor at that time, Nathan Deal, and parole board head James Donald. He brags about these things to people because he's been running a little bit of a scam.
Uh-oh.
This is what ends up happening. Nixon has been offering his halfway house and telling prisoners' family members that he can help with the parole board and then help get them on their feet with his halfway house afterwards, because look at me. I have a ministry. I'm a nice guy. It's only going to, there's some fee. I need to take care of some stuff. So it's going to cost you like $750, $1,000. That's what he would do. He's taken money from people when parole wasn't even an option for them.
Wow.
He lied to them and said, I know the governor and I know the parole board.
Is an option.
I can get parole and into my halfway house, going to cost you $1,000.
And see, there may be good evangelists out there.
Oh,
There
yeah,
may
yeah.
be great
There's-
preachers that are very good-hearted
There's
people.
that want to help people. It's all they want to do. They're really people with huge hearts.
Right,
There really
but then
is.
there are people like Otis that will fucking prey
Yep.
on people that are
Yep.
down and out, like old ladies that are just
trying to get their son out of jail
and trying to buy their way
Yeah.
into heaven.
Absolutely.
And they're giving their money to the preacher, and then they want to help their nephew that stole a fucking car.
You know it, man. That's exactly
And
what it
he's
is.
fucking robbing them blind. What a scumbag.
That's what it is. And it's not even like this is alleged either.
Right.
This is an alleged thing.
This is all fucking documented.
A Fox 5 reporter
Yes.
in Georgia,
Who is this reporter?
guy named Randy Travis, not the musician.
I love
would
you,
think.
Randy.
Randy Travis posed as a person trying to get a family member out of jail. And they have video footage and everything. He was told that Otis said, well, I only have 2 beds left, so if you pay a little extra, I can make it happen. Promised to get him out of jail using connections in addition to getting him into the halfway house if he just paid him a little bit extra. Yeah. And so Otis thought he had scammed a guy good. He walks outside and there are 6 cameras there. The whole thing is on. You're on TV. They put a mic in his face. What do you think about what you just did? Blah, blah, blah. He fucking bolts out of there because, he's fast. He's like, I see second base. I'm going.
Forever and ever, amen. That's awesome.
Unfucking real, man. That's what he's doing there. So that's his nice scam with that. Now,
there's a guy that sorry, I was just going to go on a tangent anyway. Randy Travis, who that reporter is
great.
Absolutely named
Fantastic.
after. He's absolutely named after the country singer.
Maybe.
And that is a man whose face rivals Mr. Otis Nixon.
Oh, yeah. He's
Holy
terrible.
shit, was he a horrific looking man.
He's white Otis Nixon.
Yeah,
he's white Nixon. Now, Otis Nixon here, if you want to help out a nice cause, there's the Otis Nixon Foundation, where it's this is amazing. On Yelp, it's got a Yelp page.
Oh, boy.
And an Angie's List page, too. It is no reviews on either one, though. It is listed as a life coach company. So get your life advice from him.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I would do. I'd do cocaine. I'd lie to everyone. I'd be a sex object for Mike Piazza. And if you meet a woman, marry her in a month. Always. Just marry her. Quick.
Here's how to be a life coach. Don't fucking do it. Don't participate in any of that shit.
This guy, at least.
Here's
Good
a life
Lord.
coaching tool. Get a job, get another job.
What?
Then get another job, then another one, and every one of them should be better and pay better. That's your job. That's life coaching.
There
That's
might
all
be
it
people
takes.
that can help people, though, that can give people better advice, but not this fucking guy. Everything he does is wrong.
That's all you need is a life coach.
Yeah, that is all you need. This guy.
Don't do drugs. Raise your
wrong.
kids. Be a good person. Get from
It's
good,
simple.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Keep getting better jobs. Work less. Make more. That's the job. That's the fucking life coach.
Now, if you need to hear this right from Otis, you can go on Amazon.com and you can buy his book, Keeping It Real.
Oh boy!
You can get there's 10 copies used for from 1 cent. 4 new from $59.66 for brand new ones. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. What the fuck? And 2 quote collectible ones for $9.95. I looked. One of them had a signed poster of Otis Nixon in it. So you get a signed poster for $10.
The book came with a poster.
Yeah, and then he got it signed too.
Right.
So he's got a signed poster of Otis Nixon in his book. So you can get an autograph and a book for $9.95 here there. Now on May 5th, 2013. Shortly after midnight, a driver on the Interstate 575 in Cherokee County called 911 to report a Dodge Ram truck weaving and driving erratically on the road. So a sheriff deputy and a state trooper pull over the truck. Guess who it is?
Randy Travis?
No, surprising enough. It's Otis, but then they thought it was just Otis, and then Mike Piazza's head popped up, and they were like, what's this all about?
He's getting a Hummer and swerving.
So police pull him over because of that. They're like, hey, you were swerving. He goes, no, he's got a female friend with him. He's like, no, I was just taking my friend home here, and I wasn't swerving. I don't know what you're talking about.
What's her name?
I don't know that. That was never said. So
yeah, because he doesn't know it either. It's cinnamon or sugar or some shit.
You know it's a prostitute. Police pull him out of the car. They search him up a little bit. They find a crack pipe in his pocket. Surprise, surprise. This is 2013. A crack pipe in his pocket. Then when they shine the flashlight in, they see crack rocks all over the car.
Wow.
Like he took a bag of crack and just like flung it around the car. Like if I'll just mush it into the carpet, like my shit's dirty, they won't notice it. They're just picking crack rocks up off the seats, off the floorboards, crack rocks everywhere, all over the car. So the deputy writes in the report, and that's not the funny part about this, Jimmy. This isn't the funny part. The funny part is his excuse for it.
Awesome.
Because he's always got an excuse. Always. This is from the sheriff's deputy's report.
Okay.
He says, quote, Otis admitted to me that the substance was crack cocaine, but said it didn't belong to him. Otis said the crack cocaine and pipe belonged to his son.
Oh, my God.
He tells the cop and he tells police that, no, I found my son with this drug, so I took it out of the house and I'm going to get rid of it. That's what he told him. He's like, I'm Otis Nixon.
I'm driving crazy because I can't believe it's all over this truck.
Here's my card, Otis Nixon Ministries. I'm trying to get my son on the straight and narrow, and I find crack in his room, and now I got to throw it out. And they're like, wow, that's terrible. Yeah, but we still have to look in the truck more and, just claim he was doing that. Just trying to help the kids, man. Yeah. That's all he does. I think he expected to let him go with that. But they went, oh, no, you're Otis Nixon. You get busted for crack all the time. They don't believe him, and they continue to search the truck. Guess what they find? Another crack pipe.
Oh, my God.
Was that another one you were going to throw out? Oh, guess what? A baggie of cocaine with residue on the floor. Cocaine residue on the floor. And guess what else they find? More crack rocks. More. So they don't believe his story, obviously.
No.
Like, how much shit did you find in your son's room? They cuff him and put him in the back of the car.
Yeah.
So, like someone gets arrested, they're sitting in the back, and the cops like doing their paperwork or computer work up on the thing while they're sitting back there. While the deputy is doing that, Otis turns. He's got his hands cuffed, but he can reach. He turns and hands the deputy another bag of cocaine that he had on him that they didn't find.
Hey, since I'm going away for a while.
Because if you don't say it then it's another charge because it's contraband down at the prison. It's another charge. So he's experienced enough in the system to know that, first of all.
Hey, how much do you guys have there? Because I might have some more in case this isn't a complete fucking felony forever at this point.
I just picture him like looking down the way like, here you go. I got this too.
Will this make it trafficking?
Yeah, like when Frankie the crime and sports dog has like a shoe and she comes at me like, I have this shoe. I know I'm in trouble. And I'm like, you motherfucker. That's what it is, basically. I hope this cocaine. So he's charged with possession of cocaine and a drug-related object. He's released after a couple days on an $18,880 bond.
My God.
What? I mean,
how does he?
It's unreal. I mean, he's got to be lost. He's released on the bond. He's wandering the streets. What's he going to do at this point? Where is he going? Maybe he's hungry. He's very skinny. He's had a lot of cocaine. He's very hungry.
He's gaunt.
Smells
some
something.
Protein.
Yeah, he needs some lamb. He opens the door, and it's the shawarma man. And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? What the fuck is your problem, man? I don't curse. I'm from place no curse. I believe in religion. You know bad. You bad. Signs say closed. No, you cannot have prisoners sleep on top of my table. No, I will not allow it on my court. No, I'm not. No, I don't have any relative in jail. I don't. Get out of shop. No, signs say closed. You go. Hold on. You leave a trail of crack rock. Why you do that? Why? Take crack rock with you. What? Gone. Otis Nixon. How is it? Good Christ almighty. How is it you fucking come to arrive here?
That's unbelievable. That's so much crack.
So much crack.
All over the truck. It's in his pockets. He's got two crack pipes and then pulls a bag.
Just in case I ran out of crack. Boom. Got this too. Here's some more. So they're like, I thought this was your son's. It obviously isn't my son's. So June 9th, as if things aren't going bad enough for him here, June 9th, 2003, there's a fire, or June 9th, 2013, very good, thank you. There's a fire at his home that he owns. He doesn't live there, but he owns a home in Ackworth, Georgia, and his home is burned to the ground. Nixon's son used to live there, but at the time of fire, it was a guy named Mike Mosley that lived there. There was a dispute with a neighbor, and the neighbor was arrested and admitted to burning the house to the ground. So his ex-neighbor burned his house to the ground also.
He had nothing to do with that one, but that's it.
No, this is not on him. Right. He wasn't like cooking up crack rocks and burning the thing down and nothing like that.
That would be a great story, though.
Absolutely. So August 13th, 2013, he's indicted for the drug charges from May for all that crack and cocaine, because good Christ. January 18th, 2014, he is arrested for violation of probation. They pick him up early in the morning.
He got probation for all that?
He was on probation still. So this is a violation, another violation. He might not have met with his officer. There's a million ways to violate. So they pick him up early in the morning on January 18th. He's held till January 22nd.
Wow.
So he's there till he gets out on bond. I don't know why. Now, in November of 2014, Candy Staten starts talking.
Oh,
his ex-wife there.
Fantastic.
This one is 20 years older. She gives an interview saying
she's heard some stories.
She tells some stories. Yeah. She gives an interview saying that she, quote, knew the marriage was over 2 weeks after I said I do. So this did not last long. No. Otis is a disaster.
We got back on a plane from the Bahamas to America, and I was like, oh, man, this was a bad idea.
Shit, was I drunk when I did this? She says of the marriage, quote, it was hell on earth. My God, it was the most terrifying and devastating time in my whole life. I was going through the fires of hell trying to figure out how to live with him, then trying to find a way out of that crazy marriage.
That's a religious lady that just said that.
She's too religious. Fires of hell, my God, there's a bunch of shit. Yeah, this is like some fire and brimstone being married to Otis Nixon. She details his substance abuse, his verbal abuse, physical abuse, everything. He was a nightmare to her, treated her horribly.
Unbelievable.
Big shocker. He's a fucking cokehead. So April 2015, this is after all these arrests, Otis volunteers at a kids' camp, big old fluff piece on him.
What?
The kids love Otis here. It's somewhere in Georgia. It's a 5 to 12-year-old baseball camp. It's a big fluff piece on how he's so great with the kids and they love him. They don't mention it all. Oh, by the way, he's probably got cocaine in his pocket while he's talking to these kids, and he sneaks away for a crack pipe.
It's all over on his floorboard.
Wednesday, September 23rd, 2015, at the Ironwood Country Club in Greenville, North Carolina. They have a big event for charity. It is the, Jesus Christ, the Otis Nixon Celebrity Golf Classic.
What?
The Otis Nixon Celebrity Golf Classic. Shouldn't the person it's named after at least be a fucking celebrity other than forgetting bad things happening to you? They're having a charity tournament with this guy's name on it.
Wow.
Like it never happened. Like he didn't just keep getting busted. Like his wife didn't say he does tons of drugs and beats the shit out of her and yells at her. What the fuck?
And just 2 years ago, he was arrested in a Dodge Ram with cocaine
That's
falling out of it.
Everywhere. He was doing a prison scam through his charity, acting like he was helping people. He was scamming charity before that.
What the fuck?
On his charity work, we have it in their own words for it on this whole thing. He loves it. He says in their own words, quote, "I have a gift. Just like the gift I had to play baseball, I have a gift in the ministry. It's my duty and my calling to give back, most importantly to the kids. I try to lead by example now. I try to teach the kids how to stay on track."
Oh, boy. I'm good now.
November 25th, 2015, a Dodge Charger's pulled over for driving erratically.
He likes Dodge vehicles.
The driver was 16 and has no license.
Oh, my God.
There are also 2 15-year-olds and an 18-year-old in the car. The officer smells weed and finds 6 grams of weed in the car. They also find a BB gun rifle with a blue bandana wrapped around it like they thought they were gangbangers with a BB gun. What does this have to do with Otis, you might be asking?
Is this car registered to Otis Nixon?
Not even registered. The aforementioned Dodge Charger is a rental car.
Oh, my God.
Rented to Otis Nixon.
Oh, my God.
So you think, okay, these kids stole the car.
Yeah.
These are jerk-off kids. They stole the car.
Otis's body is somewhere.
That's what the police said, too. He must have stole the car. Nope. Until the 16-year-old reaches in his pocket and produces a letter written and signed by Otis giving the child permission to use his rental car. This kid does not have a license, first
Otis
of all.
doesn't know how
Obviously, you can't authorize an unlicensed minor to drive your car, no matter how religious you are.
You don't write a note to the police.
No matter how sexy you are to Mike Piazza, no matter how much God loves you, no matter how much charity work you do, no matter how many wives you've had, you cannot make that person older and licensed.
How does the 16-year-old not go, Otis, Uncle Otis, I don't have a license?
Because he's like, shit, this guy's famous.
I'll write you a license.
Yeah, he's a baseball player.
He thinks he can write driver's license.
He's a big shot. He tells everyone he's friends with the governor. He thinks he's above the law, and the kids are like, "Oh, it's Otis's car. It's no problem." And the car was swerving all over the place.
Oh my God!
So Otis ends up getting arrested.
I would hope so
for letting an unlicensed driver drive and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Because he said, and I quote, and I quote, "I try to teach the kids how to stay on track." I said, "Drive when you don't have a license." Yeah, I love them. Drive when you don't have a license, and while you do it, have drugs on you. Yeah. That's very important. That's an
and
important
then have
part
some weapons in the car.
Do that
makes it look like you're a gang member.
Yeah, really get it
and
working.
then, don't worry, I'll write a note, and it'll make it all go away.
The cop would be like, "Oh, Otis Nixon says you're a good driver, so it's fine." Plus, it's a rental car. You're not allowed to let other people drive.
It's not even your car, man.
There's a million reasons why that's not okay.
Jesus.
So. Unreal. So he's released on $2,500 bond at that point, and that's where we are right now. If you want to yourself, OtisNixon.com used to be his website. It's apparently gone because it's for sale now.
Awesome.
So if you want OtisNixon.com, you can go buy OtisNixon.com and you can post
do whatever you want with
ugly pictures of him with crack pipes in his hand. Do whatever you want. Who cares? Just have pictures of Mike Piazza with dreamy look in his eyes. It doesn't matter.
Somebody do that. Somebody buy it.
I beg you to.
And there's so many pictures on Google. You can Photoshop the fuck out of those.
I have a feeling we'll have a couple Photoshopped by the time this comes out.
Put some crack rocks in a Dodge Ram. It could be amazing.
It could be the best,
The possibilities are endless.
I hint, wink, wink, Mark Busby, who loves doing this shit. So
one of our African-American listeners, strip down and put 2 knives in your hands and then Photoshop his face on you.
Please do it.
That would be amazing.
If you don't mind having your cock on a webpage, OtisNixon.com.
You can black it out.
If you can't get... that was
blur it out. Whatever.
Yeah. It's already blacked out, Jimmy. Come on. So Otis, so now you have Otis Nixon's book. You've bought Keeping It Real.
Yeah.
You've donated to his charity, the Otis Nixon Foundation. You've bought OtisNixon.com. If you still can't get enough Otis Nixon, go to sportsmemorabilia.com. They have a whole shitload of Otis Nixon things. Signed Otis Nixon 8x10 pick, only $28.99.
Wow, what a deal.
A signed baseball, $54.99, and it says in big red letters, last one. Like you can't fucking get more. Like you can't get more.
Maybe it was his 11th home run.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I think you can find more, and that's Otis Nixon. If you want to find him out there, that's him. Holy shit.
What a fun time that was.
What a disaster. That if we've never proved it before, that says don't name your kid Junior, and God damn it, whatever you do, don't name your kid Junior twice. The same kid. Just don't do it. Because it's bad shit, man. Bad shit. So
that was fun.
That was wild, man. That was a wild scene. We're going to get into some shout-outs. We have a long list of great people who have both given us iTunes reviews on iTunes. Please give us an iTunes review. It takes 30 seconds. Sign in and do it. And also, the most important, people who have donated to us on Patreon and through PayPal. Also, at patreon.com/crime and sports if you'd like to give us a few bucks. If you'd like to make a one-time, just a donation, I'm going to throw these schmucks some money. Crime and Sports Crime and Sports is our PayPal. crimeandsports@gmail.com is our PayPal, so you can do that there also. Feel free. We'll take anything. Shit, we don't care.
I love it.
We're just happy to have you on board, and we'd love to make a few bucks too. So,
and then if you want to talk to us and
do that
and chat with us, go to Crime and Sports
on everything.
At Crime and Sports on Twitter,
Instagram,
on everything.
Crime and Sports.
Find us and
Facebook,
chat at us. It's so much fun.
/Crime and Sports.
Yeah.
Before we mentioned crimeandsports@gmail.com. Get on there. We're everywhere. Chat with us. We have a good time. Here are some great people who have done that.
John Redman or Reedman in
thank you, John.
Scotland, I think, or the UK.
Sorry.
He's over in Europe. Whatever.
Sorry,
He's
we
amazing.
missed you last week. We have 3 hours of shit and 500 note cards in front of us. So if a name slips through once in a while,
sorry.
We're giving 3 hours of content a week in between this and Small Town Murder. So if
it's
a name
tough
slips
to get
by,
all of you.
Sorry, but we love you and thank you really from the bottom of our hearts.
You got 5 people to give iTunes reviews
you rock,
to.
Man.
So thank you, John
so much,
Redman
John.
or Reedman, whichever one it is.
We're messing around, but we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Marcelino Felipe and his wife, Paul Mampilli, Tina Sinopoli, James Warden, Ricky Guarnara Churrero.
He knows who he is.
Yeah.
We don't have
Ricky,
to know. He knows.
You're the shit.
Ricky, thanks, buddy.
Spanish Ricky, I dig you, man.
Rick.
Nick White, Luana Davis, and Erica Hogan all gave money to Patreon. Thank you guys so much,
guys.
And Fun, I guess that's somebody's name. It's their profile or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that on
Ellie
there.
Boys and Kate Thorpe. Thank you guys so much. We can't do this without you guys. You guys are awesome.
It means the world, and we use the money. We put it back into the show, and we, whatever. I think I bought a pizza one time. That's about it.
Kevin Giancola, Kevin Blake, Neil Linehan, Scott Ferguson. We've mentioned those guys before. They're fucking awesome.
They're great to us.
Julian in Texas. He lives in Tyler, Texas, I believe.
Cool.
He's a young kid, and he listens to this. So thanks, Julian. Appreciate you, buddy.
Listen to Crime and Sports.
Yeah,
a couple
man.
of the kids went to Tyler Community College.
Yeah.
That we
that's
just
right.
did.
Yeah.
This week's Small Town Murder.
Kilo in Surprise. Feldman the cat is a fucking somebody that follows us. I'm assuming it's his owner, Feldman.
Yeah, I hope
and
so.
the person is a fitness lady. So thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Daisy at Deb Denise. Jamie Wally. And I have to say that slowly because it's like Pacific Islander or something.
It's I have a hard time with
Wally,
those two.
that's the name. Lauren Vogt is awesome too. Herman Davila G and Vox Populi.
Yes, guys. Honestly,
amazing.
Thank you guys so much.
A laundry list of people, but thank you guys so much. And some people we didn't get a chance to talk to or scream at the past couple of weeks. Just Gina, obviously, and Tamara.
We love you guys.
What Better Busby, Sean Monge, and the good Reverend Jonathan Gilliard. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys all so much. You've made this thing. Also, Patty Wooten. I want to throw her in there because Paducah Patty on Twitter, because I just thought about that. She was one of the first people to follow us on Twitter and to say, hey, I love you guys.
And she's stuck around this entire
she's been with us
time.
since the beginning. So thank you so much for that. And she's a female listener too, which we like to have those on board.
It's pretty awesome.
It is. So
when I say such mean things about women sometimes because I'm a dick.
But they're great.
But you guys have been amazing. Our audience is some of the coolest people on earth.
Guys,
so thank you.
Also, if you like what you hear here, listen to Small Town Murder. We take a small town, we take it apart a little, see how it ticks, and then we tell you about a horrible murder that happened there and how the town fucked up in its response to it, basically.
So much fun.
It's a trip, so really check that out. Also, you can listen to me on P.S. I Hate This Movie,
Yes.
where me and Sarah Hunt, we make fun of bad romantic comedies, and we take those apart. There's so many. We have a good time with that. Check that out. Otherwise, you want to give them your social media,
at
Jimmie?
Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Follow me, tweet at me, talk to me. I love it. It's so much fun. You guys make this worth it.
I am at Jimmie P is funny on there, and you can find James Pietragallo if you have the fortitude to figure out how to spell that last name. Just look at the show description. You can follow, make friends with me on Facebook or whatever like that. But guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hope you've enjoyed this. Like we always say, this is we don't have a network.
No.
We're two comics. We're
don't know
doing
shit.
this.
We don't know anybody.
This is getting really big, really fast, and it's a trip, man. It's awesome, and we just can't thank you guys enough for being there from the beginning. Crime and Sports Movement. Thank you guys. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week. Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus